All right. Hi, Internet. I'm using a different camera because I'm using my actual computer. What's up, guys? Ain't nobody here yet. That's fine. How you doing? Let me back up a little bit. Jeez, that camera gets right up in your business, doesn't it? Hot diggity. I haven't done one of these in a while on the old YouTubes. Figured it's a Saturday and I'm bored. So I'm going to just hang out. If people want to come join me and hang out, they can. Devin, hi, dear. Hey, I'm going to paste this in here real quick. It's the link to join if anybody would like to. I know you're here, so nice to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. If you're not able to join, that's fine. I completely understand. But if you would like to join, the link is right there. Feel free to come on in and say hi. It has been a long, long time. Uh-oh. I have a bit of a print fail, it looks like. At some point, somewhere, I had a portion of this print fail. I'm not sure how or where it failed. I'm not seeing any craziness in the print, but I'm going to let it go. We'll see what happens. Non-Bam, what's up? You're sick? Just wanted to, or that's fine, Devin. Not a problem, dear. It's good to see you. Hope you guys are doing well. I haven't YouTube streamed a community hangout in a while, and that's fine. I figured I might as well, right? So, as people are coming in, it's the usual rules here in the hangout from back in the good old days. We do the hangout. Come on in, join, have fun. The rules are the typical rules. Do not talk politics. Do not talk religion. Do not talk current events. We are just here to hang out and talk about 3D printing and 3D printing related stuff in general life. So if you want to come hang out on the stream, that's fine. Just respect the rules. That's all I ask. I would really hate to have to kick somebody out of the stream. I am being a little bit more of an asshole about those things just for the simple fact that I want to make this a nice, happy place for us all to hang out and get along and talk about the things we have in common and not the things that will cause hot button issues and create headaches. So again, let me repost the link if anybody who is just popping in has not seen it. Even the pros have failed 3D prints. Yes, I am far from a pro at 3D printing, but and if at some point I have daughters that come like barging through the door, my wife is at work today, my daughters are home, so there's a good chance that I will probably have daughters come running through this door. But if you guys want to come and hang out, there's the link. Pop in. Like I said, just be cool. Don't. I'm. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, the print, I can't show you guys because I don't have a camera over there, but there's a small portion of this print that is just sitting off to the side. It's another dragon. My one daughter wanted one, so print dragons for the daughters. Makes them happy. So here's a face I haven't seen in a while. Good, sir. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
I see you had a bad run this morning on your speed test.
Man, I got murdered. That guy was way too good. I don't know if you caught it, but they were talking about him. Like he came on the guy's channel several times and like was teaching them stuff. So he was like, the best of the best of the best. I had no chance.
Yeah, they kind of set you up on that one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the hell's going on with me today. I woke up at about 11:30 this after late morning. Woke up about 11:30, and I think the sinuses are kicking my butt because I'm feeling stuffy today, and I'm just wore out. So I was sitting here, and I'm like, I haven't done a YouTube Hangout in a while. I was like, let's do a YouTube Hangout. So I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know how long I've got in me, but if nothing else, like in the good old days, I'll start one. And if somebody wants to pick up afterwards, we can all transition over to their channel and hang out with them. And I'm just going to kind of do my thing. I figured this way I could be semi-entertaining at least. So.
Oh, man.
Hey, so beings, I put my face out there all the time. I got to bring this up because you're a Clipper guy through and through. So I'm finding it very entertaining that BQ with the Huracan, however you want to say that, they they've been putting that out there to a lot of people who have not clippered before, are not familiar with Clipper, and Twitter is blowing up with a lot of people who don't necessarily understand Clipper and are having problems with the printer. And I'm on the second round for one. I don't know when that will go out, but I'm like, if any of you guys are having a problem with your printer, like your Hurricane, send it to me. I'm even willing, like when and if they send me mine, I'm even willing to send them my brand new in box if they just want to send it to me, and then I can play around with it and help them out. And
So what is it exactly?
it's just a bed slinger. It's an Ender 3 clone like bed slinger, but it's running straight Clipper out the box. It's got a M4P Manta board in it with a CB1.
Okay.
And they got a, basically it's the same screen like Big Tree Tech offers for the Vorons back there.
Yeah.
So I really want to get my hands on it just because I want to dig into it a little bit more and play, because thanks to your coaxing, I've become somewhat of I've been dubbed the dollar store Clipper guy. So I kind of took on, I took that on now. I've kind of owned it, and I'm the dollar store Clipper guy. So if you need like 10-cent help, I'm here for you. But yeah, so I'm hoping that I will hear back from them Sunday night that maybe mine's in the mail or will be coming out soon, but we'll see what happens. I would really like to get my hands on the damn thing though, because it's really hard to, you know what I mean? Like offering up Clipper support is offering up Clipper support, but offering up Clipper support for a specific machine, it's easier to have that machine so you can trial and error yourself, So that's where I'm at. I'm like, I hope I hear back from them soon. And if I do, it would be nice. So again,
Devin, what happened to your printer?
Huh?
Devin said that she misses her printer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Devin, what's up with your printer? Also, let me while Devin's typing, let me say hi to Devin, of course. J Designs 21, Lightspeed, what's up? Non-fam, what's up? Old Curmudgeon, what's up? How you guys doing? Doesn't have great documentation. No, it does not. The Manta boards, they need to work on that. Lightspeed, just so you know, yeah, they need to work on the documentation a little bit. And I think they should have refined the CB1 a little bit more, had that image a little more dialed in, just because the first image came out and it didn't have proper Wi-Fi support. The second image they put out, it didn't have proper Wi-Fi support. The second image they put out for it, they released with Wi-Fi support, but then the Ethernet was dead. Now they offered up a third image that has both of those working, and a lot of people are complaining about not having adequate Wi-Fi support. So the Wi-Fi was working really good, or the network was working really good. The Wi-Fi didn't. Then the Wi-Fi worked really good, but then the network card didn't. And now people are saying that when they run wireless, they're having issues. So I don't know. That probably means give it another month and they'll have another image out. So it kind of sucks when you're having to keep flashing the image to your CB1 and then kind of reloading all of your config files. So, but Devin says she got one sold, had one go back to Prusa because of severe damage during fire. Yeah, fire what, Devin? What do we talk about here?
Did the printer catch on fire, or was the printer?
Was it a house fire?
Like
Did you have a house damage? Fire? Sergio, by the way, hello, good sir. Nice to see you. Hope you're having fun. Like I said, guys, let me go ahead and drop the link again if somebody else would like to pop in and say hey. While I drop the link, I will continue to reiterate the 3 important rules. No religion, no politics, no current events. Keep it happy and cool in here. We are just like Switzerland. We're not gonna have any issues today. And if somebody wants to start,
the only current events you're allowed to discuss are me getting whooped this morning on the CAD.
Yeah. If you did catch Zach getting his ass handed to him in the CAD competition that he took place in, the speed CAD, if you did catch that, you want to harass him a little bit about that. As long as he doesn't pack up his crayons and go home, we're good.
I still like that. The first one, yeah, I was a little sluggish in. The second one, I was hauling. I was smoking through it. And I thought I had him because, I heard him through the speakers, oh, he's having problems with the mirror. I'm like, all right, I got it. And then, oh, he's entering it in the chat. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Devin says there was a fire at the school.
Oh, shit.
That sucks. Well, I'm glad you are okay. That's a good thing, Devin. And kind of to like touch on, yeah, Clipper is it is nice to see that Clipper is starting to catch on more, because once people grasp how Clipper works, I think they realize just how much nicer it is. It's just getting over that learning curve. Because even Zach, you harassed me for like 2 years, 3 years to jump over to Clipper. And when I finally made the transition, you're like, dude's putting Clipper on everything. What the hell? So,
I mean, I've got an Ender 3 over here with Clipper on it, so.
Yeah, my Ender 3 down here has Clipper on it. That Focus is going to get Clipper here soon. I'm considering possibly clippering the Lulzbot back there, the Mini. And then, of course, we will Clipper the Speed Racer here. This thing's going to get clippered. So, Devin says there was an electrical fire in the old building, and the robotics room took some damage, and her printer was mildly destroyed. Ouch.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, again, though, the important part is you and the kids and the staff were not harmed. So that's a good thing. Printers can be replaced. Oh, but yeah. So if anybody's got some pull with BQ, see if you can move my second round printer up to the top of the list so I can get a little quicker, and then I can offer a little more assistance. But I'm supposed to have, what's going on, Steve Pool? I'm supposed to have a MP4 and CB1, and they're actually sending me 2 of the heat sinks for the CB1 as well. They're supposed to be coming I just don't know when. I'm kind of in limbo waiting, But I was going to put the MP or M4P on the Ender, but I'm thinking I might actually swap it into the Super Racer here, because why not, right? Lightspeed, I don't think so, man. I don't remember seeing this thing on there. It just was something they released. So this wasn't a Kickstarter as far as I know. SP, what's going on, man? How you doing? Viking, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, I haven't done a YouTube in a while, and I wanted to, and next thing I know, Zach didn't say nothing. He just showed up. So if anybody else wants to just show up, let me drop the link again. Feel free to pop on in and say hey. What is this? Who is messaging me at the moment? Mr. TH3D sent me a quick message. Twitch, yeah, I like Twitch for myself, and I didn't want to do a hangout on Twitch. I want to keep Twitch just mine. That's why I'm doing this over here on the YouTubes, because it seems like YouTube is where more of everybody seems to kind of enjoy gravitating towards YouTube anyway. I've been watching DeWitt 3D when he does his streams, and when DeWitt's doing his streams, it seems like his YouTube side is definitely more packed than his Twitch side. So I'm just going to keep Twitch for me and do the me streams over there. And then doing YouTube here, I'll do the hangouts on YouTube. So if anybody wants to, and I don't know how often I'm going to do these. It's just, it was on a whim. I was sitting here staring at my screen, and I'm like, let's do a hangout. So, but no. So what's new with Zach?
Waiting on parts. Waiting on the mail to run.
Nice. And nursing wounds.
I am putting the K3 on 48 volts with high-end, high voltage 5160s.
Nice.
So the XY movement will be at 48 volts. I should be able to run about 40 to 45,000 acceleration.
Oof.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, I'm already my like default. I make good parts with this setting is 25 grand,
Nice.
and
Yeah, that thing.
I can run up to about 35 before I start layer shifting. But
Nice.
I'm waiting on that stuff to show up. I got a couple power supplies coming with it. What are the other things I'm waiting on? I think that's it. I'm considering. So I got the belt back off the 2.4, so I can print normal parts on it again.
Yeah.
And I'm considering changing out the afterburner for a Mantis hot end. You seen the Mantis or the Dirty Bird?
Heard about them, haven't seen them yet. No. Have to check that out. I'm looking rough today. Holy hell. I didn't realize I look like I got hit by a damn truck.
But
But yeah, no, I haven't seen. I mean, I've heard of them. I just haven't seen them yet.
Trying to think what else I got going on. Yeah, so the thing is, after seeing how fast the bamboo can print and how fast this can print and still have good quality, I feel like this thing is as slow as an Ender 3 now. And I want to speed this up. I know I could speed it up.
Yeah.
I put the head on a diet. I'm gonna get rid of all the cable chains. I'm gonna go just to an umbilical. That's the other thing I'm waiting on. I've got there's a K3 specific tool head board that you can use this like real super thin ribbon cable for.
Yeah.
That helps with high speed and acceleration a lot. I want to do that to the 2.4.
Yeah. Light speed. Yeah, I've done the Z calibration thing. I had some help from Zach here to get it set up. So I've done Z calibration on my Voron.
Yeah, I'm waiting on a brass brush to show up because when I put my belt on, I misplaced my
misplaced your brush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have to put the brush on. I printed those parts for the brush and for the little catch bin for it. I printed those. I just got to get those put on, and then I think I'll be a whole lot better off. But yeah, the Z calibration stuff isn't too difficult. The documentation's pretty straightforward on it. I mean, once you get it, once you get the files copied over that you need, and you get everything created, it's just a couple includes in the printer config and making sure all of your numbers are right, and it's pretty straightforward. The thing where you never have to adjust. Yeah, the Z calibration where the obsidian nozzles. Nice. Those are pretty sweet looking.
I got to get a printer to put it on.
Yeah.
Everything right now. So I've got a Rapido in the Voron 2.4. I've got a Mosquito Magnum in this.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a Mosquito sitting around to go in the feature creep when I get it back running. So I got nothing that I needed in.
Yeah. No, Lightspeed, that's what we're talking about. I was talking about the Z calibration where you do like a clicky probe and then it comes over and it homes the nozzle, then it homes the probe, then it goes out and touches the bed and does all the math for you. Yeah, I'm just talking about when you initially set it up, there's still some numbers, some math you got to do, like just to make sure everything is dialed in, make sure your switch number and where your locations for all your probing points and stuff are. Just make sure all those numbers are correct. It's pretty straightforward though. Yeah, you just have to follow the documentation, grab the files and pull it in. Speaking of pulling things in, look at this guy.
Viking.
What's up? Viking, what's going on, man? Amanda, nice to see you, dear.
Yeah, same. Not much going on here. Yeah. Haven't started doing anything yet. I will later.
It's all good, man. Like I said, I haven't done one of these in a while, and I was feeling the need for a group hangout because I knew I'm kind of sluggish today, and by kinda I mean a lot. So I figured if I did a hangout and put it on YouTube, one, the crowds would come, and two, I would get a
Yeah.
chance to actually talk to people I haven't talked to in a while. And if I sat
True.
here spacing off against, staring at the wall, at least somebody would entertain someone.
Yeah, true.
So,
Yeah, I almost fell asleep just an hour ago. So, yeah,
yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah. I for whatever reason, like I said, I went to bed, I don't know, probably 11, 12 o'clock last night, woke up at, 11:30 this morning. And I was like, what the hell's going on? I'm feeling like I'm drunk or drugged or something. I felt very, very sluggish. So
It happens.
but yeah, Cold Iron, what's going on? But yeah, guys, I mean, no, I do plan to make some more videos on here too, guys. I've been playing around a lot with the El Potato from Libre, which, speaking of, I'm not gonna shill at the moment, but if you guys are feeling the need to pick up a pie alternative, I have a link I tweeted out. Go check my Twitter. You can get 12% off on the already $5 off coupon, so you can get it for less than $35. There you go. That's my shill.
Yeah. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Belgian.
Belgian, what's going on, man? It's good to see you, man. I'm hoping you're doing well. Yeah. Zach has a bamboo. I don't have a bamboo. You can run Clipper on the potato. As a matter of fact, my potato is sitting right here. It has Clipper installed on it already, but I'm going to redo the process I went through to get that set up so I can make videos on how to get the eMMC in there, which that's one nice part about these guys is it does have an eMMC slot, so you don't have to use flash storage. Or by flash storage, I mean an SD card, but you can use an SD card. It does have a Raspbian OS that image that they've compiled for it, so you can run it just like a Raspberry Pi with Raspbian and follow along all the documentation. Some PA carbon fiber, nice.
Yeah, from bamboo. Yeah, I want a bamboo, but yeah, no budget for it at the moment, at least.
I feel your pain.
I gotta print. Mitch, right? Not the Mitchell who lives close to me. The Backpack Delta Mitch.
Yeah.
He won a Voron V0 kit from LDO at
Nice.
Earth.
Yeah.
And I gotta start printing his parts. One of the things I'm gonna do for him is instead of the stock mini afterburner for the V0, I've talked him into the mini after Sherpa. Which is, it's all the same parts, but it uses a Sherpa Mini instead of the afterburner, and it's a lot more reliable.
Nice.
But I'm going to print the Sherpa parts out of the nylon carbon fiber, like I did on my
You were showing off at Earth. You were showing off your IDEX there. Yeah, I was going to say your IDEX V0.
That was yours. Cool.
Yeah. It looks good, man.
The nylon carbon fiber extruder parts are awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The motor, it contacts. This is about the only plastic it contacts, and that really super makes me feel better about running the motor at high currents. And like this one is slow. I'm not running this thing fast at all. But Mitch, he might want to run his fast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Speaking of Mitch, did you guys? And also, this is for everybody that's on here watching in the chats as well. Mitch has started streaming over on Twitch, just kind of going through build processes and stuff. So if you guys want to follow along with Mitch, get over on Twitch and look up Mitch. Don't be a bitch.
Also,
I had to do it.
I got some. Look how pretty this spool is.
Yeah, you printed that, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a Keene Village Plastics, and it's their master spool system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I figured it looked like a printed spool. Yeah.
really good deal. They had a Earth sale going on where it was $30 or 30% off, and their ABS was less than $20 per kilo, and so this is supposed to be a kilo, right?
Yeah.
On for some reason on the regular black ABS, I had this much extra that would not fit on the spool.
Unless the spool itself is actually a kilo, and that's, when we're taking into consideration our measurements, we're measuring a kilo on the actual.
Well, I only had the extra on this color. On this color, there was no extra. It fit perfect.
So you kind of got the unicorn spool that had quite a bit extra.
Either that, or this one was under, or the black just wasn't wrapped as tight, but it felt just as tight. That's like half a spool almost. That's a ton.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot of extra. So
hey, Vince.
There's a Vince.
Just got to figure out how much.
There he is. My chat hasn't updated in the StreamYards. I'm just using StreamYards today. I'm not YouTube up.
Popped out to YouTube.
You would think that I'd remember that the StreamYards chat's a little behind on the actual YouTube chat. But Vince, what's going on, good sir? All right, I'm going to drop the link again, and while I do, I'm going to throw out my little precautionary comment real quick. I'm dropping the link. If you want to come hang out with us, that's fine. Just remember 3 simple rules here. Don't talk religion, don't talk politics, don't talk current events, unless the only current event you talk about is how Zach got his ass kicked today in the speed CAD competition that he took part in today. So if you want to come hang out and want to join us, there's the link. Come on in. If you do come in and you do get crazy, I'll ask you once, and if I have to ask you twice, I'm kicking your butt out of here. So that's that. 3 spools. What are those? Those are all Jesse, aren't they?
Yeah, Jesse Pet G.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
$20 a roll. I got Bold Blue, Pure Cyan, and Soul Black Glitter.
Nice. I love the Soul Black Glitter. That's like my favorite color. I mean, I know it's a black is not technically a color. It's a how do they word that? It is all colors, not like white, which is a lack of all colors. So
black is a color. Still, come on now.
I am still a happy man with the Soul Black. Soul Black is my favorite. So when the time comes and he starts doing ABS, I will get some Soul Black and print a bunch of parts for a Voron in Soul Black, and I will have a completely murdered out Voron back there. That'll be pretty sweet.
I decided while I was at the show that I need to get some shit that's not PLA because that's about all I had.
Yeah. Since a lot of the stuff you print is functional parts, it's nice to have materials that can handle a little more of the stress than PLA. And speaking of PLA and stresses, I don't know why, but my high school STEM class has not figured this out yet. I've told them repeatedly, stop using silk filaments when you're printing parts for testing for stresses. And every time I turn around, my high school teacher keeps ordering. I'm like, if you're going to use PLA, fine, use PLA, but use standard PLAs. Quit using the silks, because the silk filaments do not have any kind of shear strength. They will snap if you're trying to put any forces on them way faster than a standard PLA. And then she'll have the kids print functional parts in silk filaments and then wonder why they keep breaking within a few stress tests. It's like, stop that.
Yeah.
So at least the junior high teacher listens to me. And I told her, I said, hey, you need filament, right? And she said, yeah, because I got them one Mark IIIS Plus at the beginning of the school year. And then she was using it nonstop. So I ended up ordering a second one. So now the junior high has 2 Mark IIIS Pluses. And I said, you need some filament? She said, yeah. So I got a hold of Tony over at Printed Solid, because that's our go-to for education stuff. And I said, just send me a random 20 pack. So he just went and grabbed 20 random spools and shipped it out to the school. So they got a bunch of pretty colors now. And yeah, but the junior high at least listens to me. The high school still orders silk filament. Things still break. The kids still get mad because they want to take them home, and they get to take home broken parts because they won't listen.
Yeah.
Amanda, I did ask her why, and her answer was because kids think it's pretty. And pretty is fine, but pretty is not functional. And sometimes you
No.
need functionality and not prettiness.
True.
You got
I have a
the
lightning storm coming in, so I might
If-
suddenly be gone, but probably
Yeah.
not. My
Yeah,
screen
I was gonna
just
say.
blinked. So
Yeah, I was gonna say. By the way, Viking, just so you know, good sir, I've been seeing a lot of awesome stuff coming out of Norway, thanks to the Grand Tour when they were visiting the northern side of Norway during the lovely snowstorm and such. But
yeah,
still, even that, it still makes me want to come visit you more and more, man. Like looking at Norway and seeing all the wonderful things you have there compared to around me. Like you have trees and
nice.
mountainous areas and fun places, and I have cornfields and
Fjords.
bean fields. Yeah. But
Yeah.
still, it would still be a great time to come visit. So at some point, if you hear that I have acquired a passport, know that I will be most likely using it to be my first stop as Norway. So
Yeah.
just know that there's a good
Welcome.
chance that I will finally get my Viking hug, but it may
Yeah.
not be for a few years.
No. Yeah, you can crash on my couch. No problem.
Hey, that's fine. I might bring my wife, and she might be out in the forest looking for a cat the whole time. But you know,
Yeah, you won't find them there.
she's like, you know what? She's like, if Viking really wants me to love him, he'll send me a cat because she is
Yeah.
still hooked on that damn cat. It's been 4 years now, and she still hasn't
Something
given
like
up
that.
about the damn cat.
Yeah. Oh, I can't imagine how expensive that would be. Shipping a live animal from Norway to US.
Yeah, I was
Holy crap.
talking to a couple buddies of mine, and I was telling them how insane it is for us to ship stuff to you. Like, if you ship something out to us, it's not as crazy as if we ship something to you. Because, like, again, I
It's
mean,
pretty
if we ship
expensive.
you something that's like a $10 or a $20 value, first off, the shipping costs us like $30 to $50 depending on how we ship it. Plus, then you still have to pay once you receive it.
Yeah,
You still have to pay.
yeah, this
like that
T-shirt was
much.
$40 from the US. Bob sent it. So yeah,
That's
expensive.
insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it probably would be real expensive shipping wise from here as well. I haven't shipped anything big, but I shipped small stuff, and
Yeah.
that's expensive. That as
Yeah,
well.
I know that. Well, when LDO sent you a bunch of that stuff, that was insane, wasn't it? Anyway, we don't have to talk like specifics, but I'm just saying, like, it was pretty insane. I mean, they shipped you out a bunch of sponsored stuff that
Yeah.
it cost you almost as much as if you were to have bought the stuff, right?
Oh, the LDO stuff hasn't been as bad actually. A printer I got
Hi.
years ago though, that was expensive.
We have a Belgian, guys. I
Oh,
haven't
It's
seen
been
that.
it's been a while, a very
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah. Okay.
So Belgian. Any update on the family? Like, how's the
Uh,
family?
let's see. Michael is gonna be 5 in November. Tori is currently like 3 months pregnant. So we still got both our dogs, so I think it's good.
Well, I was going to say, I remember right after you guys had mentioned that she was pregnant, it was kind of like there you go. I know that when we last saw you on streams, she was pushing kind of hard for you to give her another baby. She was missing the baby thing, so
Yeah. Well, we kind of delayed it because Rona.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
But then it took a while, like a whole last year, before she got pregnant again.
Yeah, well, congratulations on number 2, sir.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah. As a man with more than one child myself, get ready.
I know.
The age gap between them might be a little bit of a saving grace for you.
Yeah, because my cousin has like 2 kids that are like 1 year apart, and
Yeah, they're still close enough in age that they are partners in crime with everything and still want to
Oh.
like murder each other.
Oh yeah, it's like they want to play with each other's toys.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I started 3D printing again. I decided to jump back in. It's been over a year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta go. Later.
Later,
Bye.
Viking. Have fun, sir.
Look at me. Suddenly I'm buying like bearings and crap. I didn't used to buy bearings.
Yes.
I'm actually
It's the exact
doing
same
things.
thing, Belgian.
Oh, this is for the Prusa.
Yeah, but the
The,
one part of it's universal. The part you're holding is universal.
oh really? Man.
Yeah. Sounds like Zach's dogs are having a field day right now.
So look, this is what you're holding, right?
Yep. It's very similar, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The one for the Prusa has the
You got a little
holes
bit
in
of a
it, though,
taper
right?
in the front.
Yeah, I downloaded the version where it's like just kind of clicks in place.
Yeah, see this one.
Oh yeah. But the thing is, when
Yeah.
I do it like that and have it on the side, the whole it's not tugging on top of the hot end and blah 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 and all that good stuff. But that means I can put it to the side, like I can put it there, and the spool won't be hitting the ceiling over there, and I can start
Here
moving like
is-
crap there.
Let me grab this here real quick. This is the one that I put. These are the ones I snagged, and I just set them right on top of the extrusion. The only problem you run into is you lose a little bit of Z height because when the hot end comes up, it will run into these and push up on it. So if you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of Z height, these aren't too bad, and they use bearings as well, and they're just snapped together. And then of course you've got the tush there, or similar to a tush.
Yeah, this is like a tush.
Oh my
with
god,
smaller
highlights.
bearings.
Highlights. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like these, and I've printed several sets of them. So, but yeah, these are nice. Like I said, you sacrifice a little bit of your Z height for these because they sit over the top of the extrusion. But I did print that one that you have too there, Belgian.
Mm-hmm.
I did print that one too, and I do have it floating around here somewhere. So if I ever decide to add it back to the bear, I just didn't like the way when the filament comes off the spool, it's on the side and it's side mounted, so it pulls. You know, as it pulls kind of over and in.
Yeah,
So
I got like this bit too. So it's supposed to be here, the spool is here, it's here, and it's supposed to be a smooth curve all along.
yeah, I might have to look into getting that as well, and then see about mounting it back on the side. Hey guys, don't be alarmed, but there's a female on stream now, guys.
A female? I've never seen one of those before.
Wait, hold on. Let me do this proper. First off, I don't know if she actually identifies as female, so I don't want to assume. And in today's world, I'll just say we have another person on screen with us now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, I appreciate that 100%. Thanks, Dan. I just
How you
want
been,
to
dear? It's been a long time.
I just want to say hi. Whose dogs are barking? Tell them.
That's me. I'm gonna go see what's going on with them in a second.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Zach, speaking of additions to the family, you want to introduce the internet to your latest and greatest addition?
Yeah, I'll go get him in a minute. I'm gonna take him out and let him pee real quick.
Aw.
That's fine.
He's still got a very small bladder.
Yeah.
He's
that's the
yelling
problem
at
with.
you.
Let's say it's a problem with children. You know, like if you don't want to buy diapers, you got to take them out in the yard and let them do their thing.
Right.
True.
For sure.
But
I
yeah.
don't know.
So, how's Miss Amanda been?
Busy. Understatement of the year, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. I think everyone's been busy, but I've been extremely busy doing really amazing things and not 3D printing. I heard someone was saying right before I popped in that they hadn't 3D printed in like a year. I haven't 3D printed forever. And
Got that right there.
yeah, we've just been messing around with it. So Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in between Midwest Rep Festival and East Coast Rep Festival, I built this one from scratch. Completely disassembled this one and turned it into an IDEX.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
This machine over here got converted to a belt printer and back.
Yes. Let's see, since
We're
Midwest
right back,
Rep Fest, I haven't done too much. I've added more printers and given away more printers, I think, in the last like 3 months than I have in the last 4 years, because as I receive printers, and my thing is I've been trying to grow the community around here, like closer to me, so more people around me have printers, because I'm still like the only guy I know next to my buddy Bruce that actually has printers in this area. So I've been giving away locally, like a lot of the printers that I receive. I ended up with 2 of these. One I bought, that one, and then another one they sent me out that was an open box just to show people, because there was a huge issue with these guys where with Focus where people assume the open box units that you buy for $100 were a working, functioning printer.
Yeah.
And it even says on there that these are open box returns and that there is no warranty and there is no guarantee of functionality, but yet people were still getting upset when they received a box of parts and not a functioning printer. So they sent it out and I opened it and we showed everybody. And of course I did get one of the lovely, it was broken, there were problems. So I said, sorry guys, mine is a box of parts. So I did that. So I ended up giving that to my buddy Bruce, and he's been playing around with it. One of the 2 Ender 3s that I got, I gave to one of the students at my school so that they could have a printer because they liked it. Another student at the school, I had received a printer from Akuma Mods. He had given me a BQ B1 SE Plus. I gave that to another student at the school. And Tripod gave me this one. John Strand gave me that one, and then
that's fun. That's super cool. I've been seeing a lot of like this, like your festivals and stuff you guys have been doing. I actually ran into, funny enough, was at in New Orleans last summer. I ran into Dave Randolph.
Yep.
Like it was the weirdest coincidence. Like I happened to post something on media somewhere and he's like, I'm there too. I'm also at this karaoke event for Flipgrid or whatever. And I'm like, what are you doing at an education conference? This doesn't make any sense. So I ended up going to the, they have like the hall where they're like selling all the stuff, whatever. And I actually met him in person. I was like, this is so weird.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man.
Yeah.
I love Dave. Dave is, I always tell people, I'm like, I've known about Dave since before Dave's ever known about me, because I remember back in the day when Dave was an engineer for the TV station back in the day. And I always love telling the story because Dave, the first time I was ever chatting and I like on a stream with everybody in the 3D printing community and Dave was there, I was like, by the way, Mr. Randolph, I was like, I happen to know a thing about you. And he didn't, there we go. There's the latest.
Oh my God.
There's Zach's latest edition. Oh wait, that's Yoshi. Here, hold on. There we go.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
It's a little grainy, guys, but that's okay.
I love 180p.
There he is. There's the latest and greatest edition.
Oh my goodness.
You got robbed.
They're adorable.
But yeah. No, what I was saying is like when Dave was in chat, I said, Dave, did you have a Guinness Book of World Record? And a lot of people didn't know that Dave holds a Guinness Book of World Record, or held a Guinness Book of World Record. I think it has since been beat. For the world's largest functioning NES controller. Back when he was an engineer at the TV station.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they created the world's largest. Well, he basically designed and built it, and he tells the story better than I do. And I wish he was around to pop in and tell it. But
oh my God.
When he told his side of the story, because I only know what I saw from the TV station, from what they aired, right?
Yeah.
But Dave tells a much better story about how he was in the back doing some stuff, and Guinness came bursting in with some of the other heads of the TV station, and how they pulled him out on screen because Guinness cannot issue a record to an entity. They have to issue it to an individual.
Right.
And since Dave built it, they pulled Dave out on set and gave it to Dave and the TV station, not just to the TV station. So he said they burst in, told him he had to get out here. So he had to come out, and then they had him kind of talk about the process. And at the time, it was a full-size 4x8 sheet of plywood that took or required 2 people to use it. So.
Oh my goodness. That's such a cool story. I'm going to have to ask them next time. Yeah, they were there with talking about printers and filaments and all that fun stuff. And I guess now that's that whole education space because, you know, we're starting to get into that. I know a lot of other countries are like ahead of us in that matter, but like we're starting to experiment. I know in our area, which people are like, what is this? You know, and we're buying certain types of printers because of the safety label. And I'm like, you know, I'm coming into the space and I'm having conversations with like my tech people and, you know, different things. And I'm like, you know, that's probably not the best printer. Actually, our kids could probably build a better one. And they're like, we don't want to do that because we don't want to deal with safety and fire and all that, you know, fun stuff at school. So we're kind of in that transition from like this idea or perception of what a safe environment looks like to actually being able to take some risks with kids. So it's kind of interesting just to be able to be part of that right now and see how that's going. But that's like my whole other world. It's not part of my like main purpose and job, but I kind of, you know, I like to blur lines a little bit. So I kind of talk to everybody about a little bit of everything. But we've been printing, I think there's like 60 of them now. These little tiny, I don't have like a back paper, so if you can't see this very well, but they're those ornaments for Star Wars.
Yeah, little like TIE fighters.
Things. Yeah, there's like a bunch of different ones that Jim's, like this one's an X-Wing, I guess, and you take them apart and put them together or whatever. But like we're taking them with us to Walt Disney World when we go. We're going on that Star Cruiser thing in a few months. And we're taking these to give to the kids. So I'm like, this is kind of cool, like a little gift, you know, for the kid. And we're dressing up, like cosplaying the whole time, of course. But
no, you cosplay?
Fun. Oh yeah,
you cosplay?
It's so much fun. Oh yeah, every day is Halloween. Every day, I cosplay every day. But I would love to do that every single day of my life. It's amazing, but I can't afford to do it. It's too expensive.
Yeah. As for the education side, I've been pushing my STEM department more towards 3D printing. And like I said, this year I got the junior high 2 3D printers. So now they're doing it. And I went over with the teacher the safety things, like remember the hot end is hot enough to like melt your flesh instantly. So don't let the kids touch them. You know, we're using Prusa's, and we use printed solid because Dave is the only outlet in the US for Prusa stuff when it comes to education, government, and enterprise. So we're using him. We're getting those. We do have an Ultimaker at the high school. We have an Ultimaker S5, which is fine. I don't know. The Prusas, in my opinion, they are just like set it and forget it. When it comes to, you know, for me, it's easier. I can just tell them, here you go. And it does everything it needs to do. And it's not overcomplicated and there's not a lot to it. So out of the gate, like right out the box, that's a good option. Yeah. If there were other printers that we could get, because again, like if there was somebody who actually built Vorons would be nice. The bamboos would be great, but the problem is finding a U.S. supplier, because in the U.S. there are restrictions on education on how you can purchase stuff.
Right.
And we can't go on, like if there was somebody in the U.S. though, like I said, that was willing to take on bamboo, it'd be great. Get a couple of bamboos. The kids could learn how to do the painting process and make a multicolor print. You know, that'd be fun for them.
Was it Henry that was talking? We were talking about that one time. I don't remember whose stream it was. It was like last year or something. But we were talking about like those barriers in education that we have to jump through in order to get something as simple as a 3D printer for kids to be able to do that. One thing we've been exploring too, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but have you messed with merge cubes at all?
Yeah, I have seen those, and I've played around with them. I tried reaching out to the company to try and get one just to have to show them.
Yeah,
but those are pretty awesome because
you can print them. So if you go online, go to Merge Cube, just print it. Not 3D print. You can 3D print it, but you can actually print a paper one.
Okay.
And so then they hold it right, just like this in their hand and it's an augmented reality. So if I create something, let's say I built a pirate ship in Minecraft and I want to export it, right? I turn it into an STL file. Then I've got a device like a phone or a tablet or whatever. And you do kind of like one of these, it's an augmented reality. So instead of always having to print it, they can actually look at it to see where are those defects, where are those flaws. Now, you're not going to catch everything, the in between, in the middle spaces things, but you might be able to then you can rotate it. It looks like a space alien cube is what I say it looks like. But people have actually made these out of, those big like cushions that you can like sit on that are square for kids or like little seats. They've actually gone and taken this image and superimposed it onto there and painted it on, and it works. Like it works with your phone or whatever. So it's a bigger version of this. So they don't even have to necessarily hold it in their hand. But when you do the augmented reality and the Merge Cube, it's like you're holding a dinosaur, or you're holding an eyeball, or you're holding a whatever you've just printed kind of thing, and you can manipulate it around in space. It's pretty trippy, like how it works. I don't know. It's been saving us a lot in printing because kids are able to see it and they don't always need to print it right away. So it's like, okay, are you sure you want to print this or not? Let's make that decision. And then if it's your final product, yes. And so they can kind of be like designers, almost like engineers in designing. And they have this as their base and they can just look at it. So I don't know. It's just, I thought it was like a hard thing when I got it. It's actually like a foam. It's like a foam cube. Yeah. So might be something worth to look into in your area, but we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun. I think I got this one at Amazon for like $15 or $20. They're cheap.
Yeah. I'm gonna cut in for a second. I'm gonna post the link again, guys, if anybody wants to join in. Again, I got to put my little disclaimer out there to cover my ass and everyone else's. It's quite simple. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about current events unless the only current event we talk about is Zach getting his ass handed to him today in the CAD speed competition. We can talk about that one. But other than that, let's just keep it kind of fun and cool and just enjoy ourselves. So here's the link if you want to pop in and say, hey. But anyway, sorry, I had to throw that in there real quick because I want to make sure that we keep this a nice, happy place. So. Mylan, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Zach, what were you showing there a minute ago? You were lifting something up while Amanda was talking.
I was going to say, it's always the coolest stuff that comes in the mail in like regular kitchen Ziploc bags. I got extrusion backers for the K3.
Nice.
And I got some distribution board PCBs.
Nice.
Oh, sweet. Awesome, good sir. Yeah, the puppies are all excited in Zach's house today. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the addition of the new puppy at all. I'm sure that new puppy is not doing anything.
Nope.
But yes, there's my wife. She says, I see you. So my wife is on YouTube while she's at work, and she saw I was live. So hi, honey.
Hello, wife.
Hi, Sam.
By the way, Dan, the printer with the yellow head, that's the focus, whatever thing one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
right there. Yeah. I still haven't unboxed it. It's been a year and a half.
I will tell you right now, since yours is a year and a half old, it's probably going to be a little better off than some of the stuff they're putting out right now. Oh. And I hate to say it because originally when they came out, they were a great, like, I thought they'd be a great starter printer because it is real easy to put together. It's literally lift up the gantry, put in 4 screws, put the spool holder on it, and then go through the level process, and you're up and printing in 10-15 minutes, really.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, as it stands, I'm not overly happy. It seems like they've put too much attention on the Smart, and they've kind of forgotten about the F5 or the F3. So I kind of hope they come back to it and they'll put a little more attention in it, because it does seem like the printer it's definitely dated by what's out there today.
Is it like a first gen company, or like this is their first?
Yeah, the F5 or the Odin 5 F3, that's what it's actually called. So if I say F5, I apologize, but it's the Odin 5 F3. It was their first printer. And when it came out, it was a little rough around the edges, but it still worked pretty good. And now they're focusing all their attention on this new Smart that they've got coming out, which is the same frame. Everything is very similar. The only differences are they've added bed level, and they put a camera on it. And so that's their big thing now, is they're pushing everybody to try and get the new one. So I think that might be part of the reason why they've given up on the F3, is because they're trying to kind of get everybody to go over to the Smart, which, okay, fine, you've got a new product and you want everybody to check it out, but don't give up on those who've supported your company from the beginning. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the ones who bought that first round printer or the first gen printer. You really don't want to give up on them too. And it seems like that might be the case. So I do think that if you're picking it up as just something to have, it's not a bad purchase, but don't pay full retail for it. Find it when it's on sale, or if you've got parts and skills, pick one up maybe as a spare. Get one of the $99 open box things and just have it for a spare, because one of the big problems a lot of people are having lately is the V wheels. It uses all V wheels. The bearings are not fitting inside the V wheels as well, so you're having a lot of chatter because the bearings are loose from the wheel. So even if you crank it down tight, you're still having a problem where the bearings are sliding inside that V wheel, and it's not good. And I've been seeing a lot of that lately, a lot of on their Facebook group, and people tweeting about the fact that it's, they're having to replace those V wheels pretty much regularly. Like even if you get them straight from Focus, the V wheels are the biggest problem. That, and then there's no actual locking support for. There's a ribbon cable for the hot end here, and there's nothing that actually locks that in place. It's just a friction fit. So if that ribbon cable gets twisted just a little bit, you can short some pins and burn up the board. So
it sounds like a artillery Gen 1 type thing.
Yeah. It's very similar. So yes, we are talking about the Focus B. But
I got it for free, so
yeah, if you got it for free, then you really, you're doing better than a lot. They sent me out one last year. They sent me one out, and I printed a bunch of Halloween stuff with it. And it printed nice. It printed good. One problem you have with those beds either stick really well or they don't stick. Mm-hmm. So those are the one big problem with that glass bed. It's kind of why I'm still a spring steel or spring sheet PEI guy. I like my flex plates.
Well, I got mine after a Kickstarter went out. There was like this folding printer Kickstarter that I backed, and they essentially shut down. Like their supplier scammed them or some shit like that. And then suddenly got a DM from some guy who was like, "Hey, this company called Focus is sending printers to everybody who got scammed on that Kickstarter. Just give them your info and they'll send you a printer." And they did.
Nice.
I don't know if it's actually that company. There's a certain somebody I've seen who is like, "Hey, since it has the same problems as artillery, maybe it might be people that were working at artillery at one point."
Could be. Yeah, I don't know a lot of the backstory on Focus. I never really dug too deep into it, so I don't know a lot of their backstory. I just know that they came in and flooded the market, and basically if you had any kind of social media outlet, they were here, take the printer. You know what I mean? Like, take it, show it off. And like I said, as a first printer, if somebody's got time and no money, it's that same little paradox we always run into. It's like, do you have time or do you have money when getting into this hobby? If you have time, then any printer is a great printer to start with. If you have money, then spend the money on some of the bigger out of the box, like ready to go units, like a Prusa, for instance, you know, or now the new Bamboo, like the Bamboo Labs thing. That thing's insane for its price, first off, and you know what I mean, like. Zach, you know what I'm talking about. You have one sitting right there. For its price point, it is a hell of a printer. I mean, you can't argue with that printer for the. I mean, what are they now? Like $1,200-$1,300 with the AMS.
The full kit's like $1,500.
Okay, so
Or it's
$1,500.
every penny. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you got money, that's where you want to focus it. Just put it into a printer that's going to be something that functions. But if you're looking for, you know, I don't have a lot of money and I want to get into printing, you can hit up Micro Center and get the $99, you know, Ender 3 Pro right here, which, speaking of, you don't need a coupon right now, guys. You can walk in the store and pick one of those up for $99. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but Micro Center now is offering the Ender 3 Pro for $99. Just walk in and tell them you want the $99 Ender 3 Pro, and they'll go in the back and grab you one and hand it to you, and you walk out the door. So, and they do limit it to one per household, they say. So, you know, bring like 80 of your friends and get yourself a whole farm set up if you got the time. but no, like, if you don't have the money but you got the time, a $99 Ender can be your best friend. It'll be your worst nightmare, but it can also be your best friend. But if you've got, you know, a little experience with printing and you understand how they work, you know, spend a little bit of money, buy a kit, and start building one.
I just got a text from Tori asking me to unlock the Tesla because the chip's in there and she wants them.
That's the best.
Does she not have it on her phone too?
No.
I mean, Bruce, road trip next weekend. Does that mean you want to go buy another Ender, or you want to borrow me to help you pick up 2 Enders? Is that what I'm hearing? Because Westmont's a 2.5-hour drive, man. We can be up there, well, about 2-hour drive, so we can be in Westmont in 2 hours, and you know.
That's a
another
shame.
Ender.
DC is with traffic like 4 hours. That's the closest Micro Center to me.
Yeah. The thing is I'm seriously thinking that I'm seriously thinking that I do want to pick up another one for that $100 if I can, because I do want to do the switch wire conversion, like, real bad. Like, I was thinking about doing it with that one, but with that one having the NG on it, I don't necessarily want to convert that one to switch wire with an NG extruder, because I don't know how that motor being mounted at that angle will interfere with belts. So I am thinking maybe, just maybe, I might want to acquire the same, like acquire another one and then do a switch wire conversion on it, just because it seems like it'll be fun. For those who don't know what a switch wire is, it's Voron's bed slinger. It does Core XZ instead of Core XY, so it uses belts to drive the X and the Z. So,
by the way, new phone. Look at this beauty.
ooh,
Look at that back.
hey, the nice part about that back is a lot less fingerprints.
Well, it doesn't matter because
Keep it in the case anyway.
like I was planning, I had a Note 10 Plus, right? And I was like, I want a new phone. I'm sick and tired of this old phone dying after half day. So I wanted S22 Ultra because you want to keep it in the family. But then I realized that in Europe we get the crappy system on chip instead of the proper Snapdragon. And I was looking around, it was like, why? No, wait, they haven't released anything here yet in the ages. And I was just looking around, and And then people are like, oh, yes, the Motorola Edge 30 Ultra. And it just came out. And it's got all the same features, and all the same SoC, Snapdragon, whatever, plus ultra mega cool. 200 megapixel main lens and crap like that. And it was like $400 cheaper than the Samsung. So, hi, Tori.
Hi, Tori.
Hi.
It has been a while since we've seen you guys, so it's actually kind of good that I did this because I kind of get to reunite with a lot of people I haven't seen. I don't get a chance to catch Zach in Discord anymore because it seems like when I sit down to get in Discord, he's always like running elsewhere. And little Miss Wild Woman up there,
crazy busy lately.
I know. And then
busy.
like that little Miss Wild Woman up there. The only time I see her anymore is either in somebody else's chat on stream or occasionally when she tries to tweet something.
I literally haven't been on stream in probably almost a year now.
Yeah, and then this guy right here, I haven't seen that face in over a year. So, yeah, it's kind of good that I did this. I'm glad I did because I kind of miss hanging out with you guys. Just a little bit. A little bit. Just a little bit. Oh. Okay, Tag, somebody else is in. I'm going to shut up now. I know it's hard to believe.
I can't usually get my Irish mouth to stop. That's the part of my grandmother coming out in my mouth because she just talks all the time. So somebody else go. Go, Zach.
Play pass the baton here. Who's going to speak?
So I think I'm gonna screw around and run into the speed benchy on this printer.
You're gonna practice your SolidWorks for the next round?
No, speed benchy.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were going to practice for your next round because you're out now, aren't you?
No, yeah,
but aren't they doing like a winners and losers bracket?
No, they're doing. There's only four spots, first through fourth place. So you'll get winner, first runner up, and then the loser of the final two, like the semifinals, will go to a losers bracket for third and fourth.
Okay. Yeah. Bruce is working on something. I can't talk too much. Bye, Belgium.
I didn't realize I was muted. Sorry. Tori's watching something, so I'm going to bail out.
That's fine. Tell her hi, and hopefully I'll do this again, and you guys can pop on and chat.
Says hi.
Yes, tell her I hope all is going well with the Wii one that's currently baking.
The Wii one is currently called regular because the first ultrasonic it wouldn't stop moving. But she had like she had like a Coke like an hour before, so
so the little one was all
hopped up on caffeine.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Okay. Bye.
Later, good sir.
Bye.
I guess I can talk about it. He says go ahead. So Bruce was we were in a chat somewhere talking about the how come Voron hasn't come out with a Delta printer yet. So he's kind of spearheading the I'm going to design a Delta based on Voron-esque styling. So for right now, he's currently working on that. He's building up a Voron that or a Delta printer that will be Voron-esque. I would say Voron, but we know how the community is about these things, so we'll have to.
Well, the thing with that is you can't really enclose a Delta well and get good chamber temps, and part of the Voron thing is to be able to print a wide variety of materials.
Yep.
That's why the switch wire, even the bed slinger, has an enclosure design.
Yeah, that's why, like I said, it's Voron-esque. It's going to be based on a lot of the styling cues and things like that are going to be based on Voron. But Yeah, we'll see if the community adopts it well enough, and if they take a liking to it. So he's been playing around with that lately, and let's see. Yeah, Lightspeed. Tori is Prego. She is currently with We One. Like Belgium was saying, she is currently 3 months along. So yeah, CME-CNC does have an enclosure. You can enclose a Delta. It's just a little trickier to do and have it.
And all your heat,
Yeah.
because in a Delta you can only print in the bottom like half of the chamber. All your heat bubbles up top, and not
Yeah.
where you're printing.
Yeah, it's not that you can't do it. You can do it, and who knows? Like I said, maybe. But we'll see. I mean, maybe the community will gravitate towards it once he gets it, designed and gets a functioning model of it, and then maybe some of us will play around and build one as well, and maybe the community will adopt it in. It's just a matter of him getting it together and getting it out there, and then crossing our fingers that the community will accept it. So, but he's working on one right now. From what he was playing around with the other day when he streamed on Twitch, which he's on the fence about streaming on Twitch. So guys, if you see him streaming, get over there and kind of help coax him along, and let's see if we can keep him streaming. My goal is to get everyone streaming. I don't think that everybody should, hide. Share your ideas,
Is most of the community moving over to Twitch?
It kind of appears as though they're doing a lot more stuff on Twitch. Twitch is okay between here and Twitch. The problem on YouTube is for like smaller people to see any kind of a revenue is much harder on YouTube than it is on Twitch. Because with Twitch, to get affiliate status, you have to have 3 average concurrent viewers or more. You have to have 50 or more followers. And then you have to have so many hours of stream time within a 30-day span to join the affiliate program. That tends to be a whole lot easier for people to acquire than over here on YouTube, where the only way you get monetized on YouTube is you have to have 1,000 followers, or you have to have 1,000 subs, and you have to have 4,000 hours continuous per month of watch time or view time.
Wow.
So if you don't carry that for a certain amount of time, YouTube will take away your monetization, your ability to monetize. And not that people are like me. I stream to stream. I don't care. I've been an affiliate on YouTube for over a year now, for a year and a half now. Or not on YouTube, on Twitch. I've been an affiliate over there for a year and a half. I've seen payouts of over $500, but on average, I see about $100 every month to 2 months is what it pays out. So I don't make a lot of money there, and that's fine. I'm not one who's pushing to get rich doing this kind of stuff. But a little bit of income that comes in is nice. It does help offset some of the cost. It helps.
Well, it seems a lot. It seems a lot like what you're talking about is accessibility, right? Like it's a little more accessible for people to be able to go in and, like, if they do choose to monetize for a particular purpose, to do so. Which I totally see that on YouTube. They're kind of they want to monetize and make that money. So
yeah, and that's the big thing is if somebody's looking to monetize and they're trying to make this a viable source of income, then between YouTube to Twitch, like Nero is probably one of the only guys I know that is doing really well in streaming on YouTube, because that's all Nero does. Occasionally he'll chop together a quick little video and put it up on YouTube, but most of Nero's stuff is streaming. And he'll go on and he'll stream for like 4 hours working on a printer, and he'll do that every day. And it's worked out for him to the point where he's quit his job and he streams several times a day. Carl Fenton, what's going on, man? But yeah, so for him and YouTube, it's worked out really well. But for a lot of smaller guys, Twitch is a little bit more interactive as well, and by a little bit I mean a lot more interactive, where they
you can make your like emotes and all that stuff, and I think it's a smaller community within communities, right? It reminds me of like Ustream on our Ustream days, where like you have communities within communities and you have teams that are
Yeah.
willing to like work together, or communities that are letting each other know, hey, we're going to hang out. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, YouTube is great, and that's why I if I do these more regularly, it'll be a YouTube thing just here, because this is more going to be towards the community driven side. This is where people come for information, and not that these chats are going to be full of information. They may be, an hour, 2 hour long just BS session where we just sit around and just talk about anything and everything. But there might be bits and pieces of information that come out of here that someone might find, some actual value in. Whereas, like I said, when I do the Twitch stuff, the Twitch is for me. I do Twitch for me. When I switched from YouTube to Twitch, I went over there knowing that I was going to do that primarily just for me. I'm going to go on there. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm going to do what I want to do. And Twitch is my place for me to do what I'm going to do.
Right.
YouTube, like I said, if I'm coming over here, I want to hang out with the community. I want to talk to you guys. And this is the place where it kind of originated. So this is kind of like the going back to the roots. So.
But I like the fact that there's both options, and I like the fact that like there's a lot more I've noticed educationally, because that's where my lens usually is like, if I'm not learning something just by even having a conversation, right? If I'm not learning something, I'm not engaged. I'm like, I'll come hang out and say what's up. But ultimately, like, I'm going to learn something from the conversation, or I'm going to be out. Like, it's like 10 minutes. Okay, I'm good. I'm out. They're just hanging out, chilling out. I don't have time today, But it does build that community space on both. And I like that they're adding more educational content, like a couple of communities that I'm in over there on Twitch. It's like we actually use it to help one another, like learn how to do something. Like I still have a stream deck sitting in my bin from the pandemic time. And I'm like, I still haven't learned how to use it yet. And I could go on YouTube and learn how to use it. But I'm the kind of person where it's like if someone's live and using it and showing how to do it, or like learn by doing, right? Yeah. It's like one of these days I'm going to get back on my Twitch account and be like, okay, here's how I'm setting this up, and that's going to be like a tutorial to share with other people.
Yeah.
Just keep it to myself.
Yeah. The only other thing about Twitch that I don't like is I think it's like 90-day retention time on videos. But they do now offer the option to export out to YouTube. So if it is something that I'm doing that I find that there might be value in, that's why some of the videos that are on my YouTube channel here are from my Twitch streams. If I see that there was something I did that might have been somewhat educational, I'll export it out.
Yeah.
Granted, it does suck because I could be the smart guy and record what I'm streaming and then actually chop out the important bits and just make videos based on that, which would make sense. But it's just not what I've been doing. So.
It takes out the authenticity though too. Like people can fast forward through stuff if they're looking for something specific. That's how I look at it. Like the authentic self, I think, is more valuable than actually like just putting out that content all the time. Like being a human is part of what we do as well, to try to help everybody and help each other. It's like we forget about that sometimes because we're so used to like, oh, I have to make content for some. It's like the content is you.
Yeah. Yeah. And right now I'm actually enjoying watching Zach continue to pump up the flow and the speed, and look how quick that damn thing is.
This thing is crazy. What printer is this? I am not familiar.
An NX K3.
Okay.
Yeah. It is just insane how quick that printer can print.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, what's your target time for this thing?
This should be about 9 to 8.5 minutes. I think I can go a little bit faster. Let's see.
Yeah, so he's doing his speed benchy right now. I don't know, Little Miss Wild Woman, if you've heard about that or not, but the speed benchy challenge they put out is to see how quickly you can produce a benchy. And I think the record right now is, what the hell is the record right now? Like 3 minutes or something like that, 2.5, 3 minutes, something like that, to produce a full 100% scale benchy. So, but yeah, that thing is still just ridiculously fast. And I've seen some of the pictures of stuff that Zach has printed on there, and the speeds at which he's printed them is insane.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just it stopped extruding a couple layers in.
How weird.
It's not clogged, is it?
We're gonna find out. I'm printing a little bit close.
Ah,
The perimeters, the couple perimeters that it laid down look good though.
nice. Yeah, that's the other thing too with the speed benchy challenge. It doesn't have to look pretty. It just has to resemble a benchy. So some of the speed benchies that I have seen people produce, you're like,
They look so bad. They look so
Yeah.
incredibly terrible.
they're just
That's the point.
ugly.
It's just
Yeah,
it's just for the how quick you can do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It
not
should
a matter.
be both. It should be that hurts that kills me. Like it should be both. It should be like quality and quantity, right? Wow. Could
Yeah,
you
those first
technically
couple
call
layers.
that a benchy then?
No, it's got to be complete in one
Ah.
piece.
Dang it.
The couple of layers that laid down look good. I just got to figure out why.
Why it kind of stopped extruding after a little bit.
Yeah, my temperature dropped. My temperature
Yeah, you did have a
dropped
dip
10.
there.
I need to leave it at 265
Yeah, what material are you printing that in?
ABS.
ABS. Okay.
ABS is the only thing that likes going that fast.
Oh yeah. I was pretty sure it was ABS as well, but I just wanted to make sure, for those who weren't following along. Yeah. Oh. Oh man. It's getting a little hot and sticky in my office here. There we go. Open the door and let a little bit of the cool air in. Turn the heater down. We'll see if this gets a little better. But no, I've been just trying to get my health back in order. So I've been doing my scheduled Twitch streams, except for yesterday. I did not stream. So I'll probably at some point stream here today on Twitch just to kind of make up for missing yesterday. But last night we had my daughter's concert at the school that we had to attend. So there was no point in trying to stream and, cut short that. I don't know how long that's going to run, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to work on. We'll probably end up putting Clipper on something. I got two nozzle clogs on printers I need to clean out as well. So one of them is right behind me right here. This guy got a nozzle clog, so got to clear that, and then I think I will. I'm waiting to Clipper that though, because I want to see if when Big Tree Tech is sending me that Manta board, because if they're going to send it, then I want to put it in here instead, and I'll actually run the Manta board with Clipper on it and have some fun with that way. But I could always just Clipper it as is, run the stock board, put Clipper on it, and do that. Nice, B. I'll have to check it out. You'll have to send me a picture, and or maybe if you stream later, you could show it off on stream.
Oh.
What's up? 1100 on your flow rate. Yeah, you were trying to push way more than it could push, and that might have created a small problem. Just saying. I mean,
It was too light of a flow.
yeah, your flow at 100, 110%, not bad, but when you're trying to push 1100% flow rate, yeah, that might have that one extra zero might have just messed that up a little bit.
I was trying to set it back to 100%. Before when I ran this program, I had an issue with the first layer not sticking well, so I overshooted it tightly. Just a little tiny bit. But judging by this, my first layer's fine. I don't need to over extrude. So we'll see how it runs this time.
Yep.
I suspect this will be a fairly decent looking print. I've got a Mosquito Magnum with a Bondtech CHT, and I'm printing ABS at 265. So she should be running pretty good.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. But yeah, that thing looks awesome. And at some point, I would love to build one. I'm not going to lie. It's just, as a guy who's built one already, it would take me like 10 years to get one of those things built.
They are looking for people to join the team to write the documentation on how to build it. So they are working on a build guide.
An actual build guide, not just the
like a boron style build guide. They realize that's one of the things that they lack is the documentation.
Yeah. Nice, B. Nice. I'm gonna move this over here real quick. That way I'm looking a little more this way. The camera's still right there, but As for Bruce, with your wanting to have someone to chat with on the streams, just whenever you want to stream, if you need a co-pilot, just let me know. We can always do the old StreamYards thing like I'm doing here. But Bruce, if you're okay with it, I'll show these guys the foot for the Delta. I don't want to show things if you're not ready for me to show people, but it looks good, man. Plus, you can get some input too if you're ready for input. Okay, give me a second. Let me do a share screen here real quick. Okay, there's the foot for the Delta. That's cool. One. Yeah. Let me see here. Those are the bearings he got. Give me a second here to. Let me take this out real quick. Hold on a second. Let me make sure. I don't want to put people's stuff out there. You know what I mean? So give me a second here. I'll bring up the other one. Add this back in real quick. There you go. That'll be the back side of it. So got a spot there to.
I've got this IGUS filament here, and I've got a boring head on one of the machines at work that will do down to a 6 millimeter hole.
Yeah.
Like precision bore. I could 3D print IGUS bearings and then bore them to final size to fit a rod at work.
There you go, Bruce. If you would like, you could. Yeah, because that's right. Didn't you get a roll of like the IGUS filament or whatever the hell that was? Yeah.
I need to bust it out and play with it. I need to see if I can multi-material it with PET G, because you can make some really neat stuff.
Yeah, you could do the
PET G and then surfaces out of the
IGUS.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I was going to say, you could inside line basically like a IGUS print, like for against the contact surface, and then print the outer edge with PET G. That could be pretty sweet.
All right, I want 150.
Yeah, the Delrin. Well, IGUS is a material. It's what I do believe like the Dryland bearings. That's what they're made of, right? Or the Delrin.
Yeah.
Delrin bearings are made of like the IGUS material. It's basically just a self-lubricating plastic. So
jumping on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, and that table's pretty solidly mounted, right? You got those.
Yeah, it's sitting directly over a support. The feet I have on it are real squishy, so it jumps.
Yeah, but that thing is moving insanely fast. And now that you're showing that off, I'm pretty sure Bruce is going to add that to his list of printers to build. So I wouldn't be shocked if in the next like 2 months, I wouldn't even give it 2 months. I'll give it like 30 days. In the next 30 days, if Bruce is contacting you about what materials you got, what you're using, so that he can probably start building one. He says no. Okay. I give it. If you start watching, if we can start doing these a little more often, and Zach comes on with this thing, I only give it about 30 days, and you'll want to start one, because look at how ridiculously fast that is. And it says it's only got about a 9-minute print. Wait till it's done in about 9 minutes, and you see the finished quality on a speed benchy at 9 minutes. Not if you're going to be nice to someone else. You're muted. Zach, you're muted. You're not talking at the moment. There you go.
484 to 525 millimeters a second.
Jesus. That is insane. Yeah. I might have to talk to the Annex Engineering guys about the possibility of assisting with the documentation and building one of those. I might have to talk to them. It'll be great when I mess up something in the documentation as they're building along, and all of a sudden, like, I get the most hate on the internet because I'm not good at documenting things. But the nice part is you just take a picture and then just kind of follow along. I do have to say, though, I really hope that BQ, when they get back in tomorrow night, they'll message me and update me as to the status of my Huracan, because I really, 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 really would like to check that out, guys. I'm just saying. There's Mitch. What's going on, Mitch? Hey, Mitch, just so you know, I told everybody to go check out your Twitch channel, so that this way, hopefully, that'll help you along. Oh, guys, I got to take a minute to brag. Just a few seconds just to brag. So last night, Mitch was having some issues because Mitch is new to Clipper too. So he was having some issues. And guess who got to help him with Clipper? The dollar store Clipper guy. This guy right here. So that was pretty awesome. But Mitch is really smart. So I'm sure in like 2 weeks, he'll be way, way smarter at Clipper than I ever am. Red light. By the way, good sir, I did see you. I did pop you up. I did wave at you. I'm sorry I wasn't very chatty, but you have fun, good sir. I hope you're doing well. It is good to see you again, sir.
Red Light always has cool projects going on.
He does. It's always fun when he joins.
Like amazed of all the stuff in his garage.
I was going to say, it's always fun when he joins the stream and he's just in there just scrapping away, and you're just sitting there watching.
I just find it so fascinating. I just like look close to the screen and I'm just like, wow, there's a lot of things in there. Like, what are you making? Like, it's so cool.
Yeah, he's constantly tearing stuff apart, and I love the fact that the dude always manages to find some of like the craziest old school tech.
Yeah.
And I get to see stuff from my childhood, and I'm like, I actually remember these things. And here he is with like 8 or 9 of them just sitting there in a pile. And it's like, I remember being a kid and wanting that. And you have like 8 of them now. And it's like, damn.
And it's like, what are you going to do with those? You know, like, how are you going to hack that apart and fix it and do whatever you're going to do with it?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
You see the progress bar in the LEDs? You see them in the reflection in the back there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's even more entertaining is look at the percentage popping up on the screen there. 61%. He's already 61% through a benchy, and it's been going for 5 minutes.
Dang.
62%, 63% at you know. Actually, yeah, it's let me see here. Yeah, finish time it's saying is going to be in like 4 minutes. Yeah, almost 5 minutes. So, yeah, that's insane. That's
Mitch says
I've seen them as fast as 3 minutes. So,
yeah, me too.
And this is not total print time. What you're seeing here, this is since all of the pre-checks are done. So it still purges and wipes 3 times, does a purge line and a brim. all before the timer should actually start.
Yeah. You messed up layers. Where are you getting messed up layers, B? Like, what are you printing that's giving you messed up layers? And are you talking just like, does it look like it's under extrusion in the layer, or are you getting like pimples in the layer? Just wondering what you're referring to as messed up layers. That's all. Yeah, Mitch is just having fun coming in busting chops right now. That's all right, Mitch. Hey, Mitch, if you want to join, bud, I'll drop the link. Just so you know, there is rules when joining the stream. Since I dropped the link again, the rules are we don't talk about politics, we don't talk about religion, and we're not talking about current events. Again, the only current event we talk about today is the one where Zach got his ass handed to him in the Speed CAD tournament that he was taking place in, and how he was put up against somebody who is kind of like everybody's go-to for assistance. Oh, let me see here. Those little bitty issues with layer. Here, guys, I'm going to show you guys what he's talking about. Give me a second to bring this up here. So there are the issues he's having in the layers. Part of it looks like were you playing around with pressure advance at all, B? I'm just wondering, were you playing around with your pressure advance? If you haven't played around with that yet, but yeah, like Zach was saying, cooling could be a bit of an issue, but it looks like you're getting issues where you are having some bits of maybe possibly under extrusion. And in those corners,
8 minutes and 24 seconds.
Not yet. Printing correctly before you do that. Okay. There you go.
8 minutes and 24 seconds.
Yep.
Blow me up.
Yep. Give me a second. I'm getting you. There you go. That is definitely a better looking benchy than I have seen from some of the speed benchy challenges.
Yeah. It's all cooling related. All the problems are always cooling related. Like the stack. And then the overhang.
I got to pull somebody in here. So there we go. We have a Mitch. What's going on, good sir?
Hey. Well, this is a straight. I'm sorry. This is your YouTube. This is different than your Twitch.
Yeah. YouTube is like, I haven't done a community hangout in a while, and I don't want to do those on Twitch. I want to keep Twitch just for me. So I figured I haven't done a community hangout in a while, so let's do a community hangout. So I just brought that to YouTube. I figure usually there's enough people in the community that will come and join, and sometimes useful information will come out. And it's better to kind of capture that on YouTube, because then people can come back later and say, hey, I remember in that stream I was watching, they talked about this. And then they can kind of come back to it. Whereas like with Twitch is more of a, I just want to keep that for me, do what I want to do there. And if I find something useful that I've talked about, then I can always export it out here to YouTube. So
you got a good timing, Mitch.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look at that.
Yeah. I just finished printing the
you know, it's funny. It looks like a different purple every time you show it to me.
Yep.
Yep. Good old Masters. Wow, that's a tight Masters Spool lock. I didn't realize those are.
Yeah.
So heavy duty.
Yeah, it's nice.
Cool. I've never actually done a Masters Spool. I should probably do it, but I got plenty of filament I need to burn through before I start buying more.
So, sorry. I was going to say, so kind of back to this, anybody have recommendations for things for him to check out? He is playing with Clipper on this device, so just know it is Clipper.
Like linear advance, maybe over extrusion.
So get him set up with a ADXL on there, because it is a legacy. So get him set up with ADXL so he can do his linear advance stuff, and then play around with his pressure advance as well, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, even like what I made last night on that little Eris, you can't really see that well, but you know, I mean, like this part got all messed up, or kind of got rounded on one corner, and I think that's from the whole effector bending. But I mean, it doesn't have a. It's not too bad, but like a little bit of lack of cooling and over extrusion. It looks a little rough.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's not too bad, but like I think that's the same thing where it's, you know, if you're over extruding in the corners, you'll get those blobs.
Yeah.
So
and that's where your pressure advance.
Yeah,
that's where your pressure advance comes in.
I've never actually dialed that in. I should probably do that.
Yeah.
Nothing a little bit of sandpaper can't fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, Bruce, is it does not look terrible. I mean, as much as like we've all seen prints that look like crap, and you got to remember it is a 3D printed, it is an extruded plastic, so you're going to have imperfections in it. It's not going to look smooth as glass. I mean, I don't ever get like perfect surface finishes on any of my prints, so you know.
Yeah.
Take your rotation down by one and do another. Yeah. I mean, it's get it dialed into the point where you're getting the part you need in the dimensions you need, and then play around with some other stuff to, you know, again, pressure advancing, one of those things where once you have a part that is what it's supposed to be, it doesn't have to look beautiful, you know. Oh, I know, you know, man. I know.
Also, cooling, I'm sure it's probably not an issue for this, but like, you know, for PLA at least, sometimes cooling that's an issue.
Yeah,
that's always hard to do because, you know, unless you have a really good, like a Pet's Fang or something.
It never fails. Most of the hot end stuff, like the coolers, are usually two-sided, so you always wind up with that weird little area where, you know, no matter how hard you try, you always wind up with that one spot underneath the nozzle where cooling is a pain. So,
yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. Well, on this effector too, I have two little 30 millimeters, which are great, but I'm thinking of ways I can duct them a little bit better. Just because it's just blowing down, and so if it's doing a small part, it's not cooling that small part. I have seen what are those like the CPAP hoses running a blower fan through it.
Yeah.
You run an actual CPAP air pump through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably for extreme cooling. That's probably the best you can get right now.
Yeah. It doesn't work on the V0 because it's tiny, but those laminar flow, you know, sheet coolings are pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about any of this stuff until Voron, until I started looking into the Vorons. I'm like, oh wow, they've been making strides.
Yeah, that community is a great community, and at the same time, it can be a nightmare. It's nothing against the Voron guys. The Voron guys are doing a lot of amazing things, but sometimes being able to be a quote unquote common person talking to them, sometimes they're hard to talk to. Let's just put it that way. Sometimes they're hard to talk to. That's why I'm glad when I got into playing with this right here, that this guy over here, he had already built one or two and was a good resource for me because he gets who I am and he can talk to me in a way that doesn't make me feel like I'm maybe that big, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the nice part about the community is it has branched out or forked out enough that usually you can find someone who understands it well enough that you can also get along with or associate with that doesn't try to maybe bring you down a little, you know?
Yeah, back in the early Voron days, they were a little elitist about it, but like
I remember Tom doing his first Voron video, and that became like kind of his controversy.
Yeah, the thing with Voron now is you can't be elitist when there's like over 10,000 of your machines.
Yeah.
Wild. Have they broke 10,000 yet? If not, they're close. I know a couple months ago, maybe 6-8 months ago, there was something like 6,000 Voron V0s.
Yeah.
with serials, and like that's just people who bother getting a serial number for it.
I talked to the print and see guys because they're kind of similar to the Voron guys in terms of like like high performance hobbyist stuff. And and I was like, man, we need a serial number too, like because it would be nice to confirm how many are in the wild and not just like random builds, And the print and see is a lot more customized. I mean, it's not Voron's customizable. This is like there's no kits for a print and see. You just build it like from scratch, and so those kind of things do take a lot of like. I spent hundreds of hours building this machine, like that becomes a lot of like. I can see where the elitism comes from that, where it's like like you're not a real printer unless you build it. I'm like, no, I'm just as happy with a Prusa that you get out of the box than I would be a Voron. But man, I'd be happy with just like a gifted little like ender, that I could play with. So
yeah. 3D printing is one of those things where once you get into it, you find yourself going deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole.
I have never bought any other printers. I just still have that very first Ender that I bought, like 4 years ago?
Have you done any mods to it?
Yeah, I mean, my husband's done some modifications. I can't tell you what it is because that's his domain. But like, I'm the decorator of it. So like, he messes with the internals, and I like to decorate it and make it fun. So it's now a Star Wars dark side themed. I like to do the decoration of it. I don't really care about the other piece of it. I look at it from like an educator point of view, like what can my students do and how can they help me learn about it together. So I'm a really, really like slow learner when it comes to that stuff. But like hanging out and like listening to you guys talk, I'm also realizing like you can go deep, just like with any learning, right? Like you can go deep or you can be surface level. So it's like low floor, high ceiling. I'm still at low floor level when it comes to 3D printing. So like when you start talking about potatoes and all these other things, I'm like, in my brain, I'm visualizing an actual potato. Like, how does a potato, until you showed that, Dan, I was literally sitting here like, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
I have to say,
it's funny.
When it comes down to it,
I'm
actually pumped that when I reached out to Libre, and my camera's freezing a little bit, guys. I'm sorry, but I was actually pumped when I reached out to Libre and I said, hey, a lot of guys in the community, in the 3D printing community, are looking for some kind of an alternative to the Raspberry Pi that's affordable. You can't
get them.
Oh, that's right. The Libre computer. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And when I reached out to those guys, I said, hey, would you guys be interested? And they said, yeah, we'll send you out some stuff. And they've been like a great resource, a great tool. Like anytime I've got questions, I ask, and usually within 24 hours, I'm getting a response. I'm gonna have to flip flop cameras because this one is starting to freeze up if I don't have enough movement.
Do you know who the OEM for Libre's computers are? Like, who actually does the manufacturing? Or do they?
I don't. They started out as a Kickstarter back in like the late 2010s. They started out as a Kickstarter, so I'm not sure. I know they're coming out of Shenzhen.
Yeah, are they using an existing system on the chip that's comparable, or?
It's running. Let me see here. I believe this one is ARM-based.
Winners.
Yeah, no, these are. They've got a bunch of different models that they offer. Some are the. Let me bring it up here real quick. Hold on a second. Let me bring them up because they have a couple different models. And then like Amlogic. There you go. They've got Allwinner, Amlogic, and Rockchip are the three chips that they're using for their three different their 5 different boards that they offer. So here, let me do it.
That's cool. So they're using like modern stuff, basically.
Yeah.
The only kicker is their stuff comes with 100 megabit NICs and no onboard Wi-Fi. So,
but you can get cheap USB Wi-Fi's.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I was going to say is in talking to them, they said that they're going to be working on doing like bundle options where you can get, for instance, here's La Potato. You'll be able to get the potato, and they'll have like a Wi-Fi bundle option where you can get a known working USB Wi-Fi adapter that they'll sell along with it for like a $5 or a $10 upsell. But then they'll offer you an additional kind of a discount or a drop on the price if you go with that to kind of help bring the price back down.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
then not to shill, but right now, if you use my discount code, you can get one of these for less than $35 before taxes and shipping.
I love how you're like, not to shill, but hey, I'm gonna shill anyway.
But yeah. But if you use 12 BB 3D treat on Amazon when you buy this, you get an additional 12% off.
All right,
But,
so listen to this. I got some stats for you. This is judging by current serial numbers as seen from the Voron registry bot. They are on, for Voron 2s, they're on 4,322. On Voron 1s, which is 1.8, and Trident, I think, is considered a 1, and Legacy, they're at 136. On the Voron 0, they're at 2,027. And on the Switchwire, they are, where was it? 494. I don't know. Trident might be its own thing. I'm trying to see if there's a. Oh, yeah. They've got 765 Tridents.
So explain the difference between Trident, what's the Salad Fork, and like all these other variations.
Salad Fork is just a shrunken Trident.
Yeah.
And what's the point of the Trident compared to like a V 2.4?
So the 2.4 is a little bit more complicated of a build since it's a flying gantry. The Trident is a fixed gantry with the 3-post bed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I like the fixed bed kind of thing.
But yeah, in terms of serials, I can see that they have 7,744 serialized printers in the wild.
Cool.
Yeah. Bruce, what'd you miss? We've just been talking. Right now, Zach was looking up the information on the Voron serialization and seeing how many of each printer was currently serialized.
We also saved the universe while you were gone, just so you know.
Yeah, that's
Some
right.
of us
Thor-
did.
Yeah,
I don't care about that.
But yeah, the funny thing is, the Voron guys are the ones who have a reputation for being elitist. Meanwhile, this guy right here, I'm probably one of 100-ish who have one of those, or anything made by NX. Period.
Yeah.
There's a difference between elitism and just being a hipster. Like,
Is there though? Like, can we go there? Like, do we need to unpack that today, Mitch? I'm not sure.
This machine is stock. It's basically to their design, right? I don't really have any kind of odd, weird modifications done to it. It takes a Voron V0 a ton of modification to get close to what this thing can do.
Yeah.
no, that's pretty impressive. I agree.
Agreed.
I also have this. I should probably play with.
So yeah, in the NX Discord, there are 82 people with the NX Builder role. It includes people who are currently building or planning on building one.
Yep, because you're an elitist. We know. You hipster.
Look, is it elitism or is it just generational? Just asking.
So speaking of elitism, I'm kind of the Delta like guy for that stuff. Because I'm first to tell you that they're not like the best end all be all. Like I think Delta printers are definitely like kind of an old solution to an old problem.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, like it's not easy. It's it makes it go faster, but it doesn't. Like back then, the deltas were faster, but you couldn't melt plastic fast enough to take advantage of the delta printers. And now you can, but like the cooling issue, right? Now I have a limited effector, and the effector can only hold so much air, air power. So then you have to end up getting like CPAP hoses, and now you got to work on, lightening your effector, and then you can't do direct drive, so you have to use Bowden, or you can use direct drive, but now you got to make tiny little extruders. I mean, it's the same stuff that the Voron's trying to do, make really lightweight heads. The only real advantage is having input shaper, I think. I think the deltas could definitely be improved with that. So
I feel like deltas are like IPA beer. It's like, they're kind of terrible nowadays. We don't need to put a ton of hops in our beers anymore, so they don't go bad. But like people still like them anyway for some reason.
Yeah.
Like you kind of got to be a masochist to drink an IPA. It's just like you kind of got to be a masochist to run a delta.
Well, any printer, really. I mean, it's not just deltas.
I think all printers now need to come with a beer label. Like, is this like a Bud Light Lime or like
the Prusa is the Budweiser of the.
So this is.
It's not good, but it's better than A8.
Right, the Ender 3 is still reserved, and then on the opposite end of the spectrum, the Bamboo is like the Stella, like the I'm fancy. It's
okay.
It's cheap, but you can just buy it.
I was thinking
that would be like my kind of printer, because I'm like a Stella Delirium Tremens, like
that sounds good.
Chimay type of person. Yeah, it's a bougie. It's a bougie one.
Okay, so I guess if we're going this route, then I guess the ANET, the ANET, what is it, A8, is like prison toilet wine.
No, it's Mad Dog. It's Mad Dog 2020.
It's like it's the Zima. It's the Zima of.
No, the Zima is like the Tico or the Obsidian.
Like come on now.
Yeah, it's like the Kodama Obsidian. It's all the printers that you backed on Kickstarter that you'll never get.
Oh, that's so
Sorry, your workbench.
The Boone.
I still have yet to hear any of you guys compare this to old style. I'm just saying. I think an Ender 3 is more of like an old style. I'm just throwing that out there.
What is old style?
Isn't that one of those Milwaukee gross beers?
It's old style.
Is that like a Natty Ice?
No, old style is basically like you just scoop some water out of like a septic tank, and then you just let it ferment for a while. That's kind of like your old style.
Like hooch.
Yeah, so it's probably more like I guess the old ANET A8 would be more like an old style then.
Ooh. No. No.
Meek. What's up, Meek? Every time I see that name and I say Meek, I always think of like little Meek from Thor. It's just I always hear him, like I always hear that in my head. Sorry. John, what's going on, sir? Look, it's Mini Bob. See, it's Mini Bob. John sent me Mini Bob, so I gotta let John know that Mini Bob is right there.
Is that an old Lulzbot?
Yeah, Lulzbot Mini. Yep.
Yeah,
whatever
cool.
happened to that
like
really big printer deal thing, Dan, that you had? Like that was the last time I saw you on stream. It was like this big, huge, gigantic, like refrigerator size printing behemoth.
Oh, that may or may not have made its way to a scrap yard for scrap prices.
Oh, okay. I was curious.
Oh, no.
It just came to mind.
Ancient Stratasys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing looked like a giant refrigerator. But
was that a U-print?
No, this was
not a U-print.
Yeah, no, this was an ancient Stratasys from back in like the was it early 2000s maybe, or even earlier than that.
I've seen people try to modernize those, and it's cool, but I think it's not worth your time, like most of the time, because the technology is all like stuff that they were trying to get around their own patents, and like they, like really complex mechanisms and stuff, like
it
feeders
was
for the cartridges and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it was insane, and I finally ended up. I had a buddy of mine who was like, "Hey, I see you got a bunch of old scrap metal out here, because like just stuff in the garage that was collecting dust." He's like, "I got a buddy who does scrapping. You mind? You like mind?" I was like, "Yeah, you can come by and pick the stuff up. I don't
It'd be
care."
cool
And he
if
looked
you
at
wanted to
that.
put a beer fridge.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
could have been.
a little
It could have been.
refrigerator in there. The opposite of a heated
Cleaned
chamber.
it out.
Yeah. I remember watching those in college, because that's when I first saw like a 3D printer in person. Was the Stratasys E-print, and they bought one for the college, and I think like they're like $10,000, $15,000 at the time, and it had the dissolvable support, and I don't know exactly what they used. It was ABS, but like the dissolvable support, they actually had like an ultrasonic bath with some kind of lye or something in it, and that's how they dissolved the other filament. So
Stratasys still uses that.
I don't know what it is though. Like, what is the material that they use?
It's lye. It is lye.
But what's the dissolvable supports? Like hips or something? Or
I have no idea.
Maybe, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I don't remember. I used to have cartridges floating around here, and I don't remember what it said the support material was made out of.
Yeah, I remember it was like 250 a cartridge, or 300 a cartridge or something.
Oh
like,
my god!
And you had to replace the I think you had to replace the whole cartridge, even if there was like some left in it or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, all I remember about that thing is the beds were like almost like a charcoal brick.
They're disposable too.
Yeah, and as you would dig the part or take the part off, it would leave little grooves wherever the contact was. So you basically use it once, and then if you could move your part around to somewhere else on the bed so you could print. So you'd have to move where you had placed your part to print, and then after that you could flip it over and use the other side, but you used it till for maybe one or two prints, and then you had to flip it over and then throw the thing away. And it was an insane waste, because it was like a charcoal briquette styrofoam kind of a mix thing. They're just I think actually I still have the cabinet that was in. Let me see what I've got in there. Let me see what was left. Let me see.
Yeah, I used to work at a place where we had a Fortis, like a 380.
Oh, the Fortis, yeah.
And
those are big though. You could get big ones out of that.
Yeah, it's like I remember one of the dimensions on the belt area was like 14 inches. You could print huge parts on it.
Can't get into it, guys. Sorry. Too much crap in the way. I'd be out there for like half an hour moving stuff. But
it used the same ABS and dissolvable support material. It was weird though. The bed material was a really thin PEI sheet, held down on a grid by a vacuum. And
that's actually kind of a good idea.
It had like 140C chamber. And it was just printing ABS, but it was printing fast.
Yeah. Well, ASMR.
Yeah.
So this is a force sensing resistor probe that I got, and it has like a threshold thingy that you can adjust the threshold, and then it triggers your Z and stop.
Nice.
And the idea is that you stick it on the end. You put this foam in there, and it sticks over your like V6 style nozzle. Of course, it comes out, but I think that actually slides in there. That's kind of weird. It's actually okay. So never mind. But anyway, ideally, you just clip it onto your nozzle, and then it probes your nozzle with whatever the offset is. Yeah, whatever the offset is for this, and it's set for like Cossel. So like if you have an old Cossel, like that's what it's for. But I don't know. I haven't. I don't know if I want to use it, because last night I just used the Delta Calibrate, and I just manually did it with a piece of paper, and it worked. So
that's cool.
Actually, it worked much better than the accelerometer probing it originally had, where you basically had to ram into the bed and approximate. Yeah. So
Yeah.
And there's no leveling on like the V0, right?
No.
Or it's like
No,
manual
no,
leveling.
it's there's ways to add it, but just the bone
You don't
stock
need it.
V0, it's just in stops.
You don't really need it though in that size.
No.
And that's what I'm finding with this too on this Delta. It's like you don't really need it. You just need to make sure that the plane is flat. You don't need that delta radius, But like the flatness of the bed at that size doesn't really matter.
First couple of parts for your Zero.
Already done?
Yeah, it's just like panel clips.
Oh, you did it on the bamboo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just checking. I printed a very small group.
So how is the bamboo slicer?
It's great. It might as well be Prusa slicer.
Do you think they borrowed a fork of it?
So here's the story behind it. It is an actual fork of the original Prusa slicer source. I think they started with like 2.4. They added all of their stuff on top of it and shared it on GitHub with the proper open source licenses. In fact, the latest version of Prusa Slicer inherited one very, very nice feature from Bamboo that Bamboo implemented, and that's the ability to natively import step files.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And then the slicer basically converts the step to a mesh file to slice it. And the files from step are amazing. The quality looks a lot better.
You think it's better because what is it? The approximation of
yeah.
Because in Fusion, I just export everything as high mesh, like a high quality mesh.
Yeah. So what this does is now you can just export to STL, and the STLs are export to step, and the steps are much, much, much lighter weight files.
Yeah.
And you get the equivalent quality of a very, very large step file. No,
Super Slicer is
from Slick 3R.
Yes.
Super Slicer is forked from Prusa Slicer. Essentially, Slick 3R is, I believe it's dead from a long time ago, and then Prusa Slicer basically took over for them.
I was wondering if there's an original like a slice Slick 3R, and then it just got like taken over, but I guess not.
Yeah, no, Prusa forked off of that, and then Super Slicer forked off of Prusa, from what my understanding is.
Yeah, so the last release of Slick 3R was 2018, May 10th, 2018.
That was about the time that Prusa Slicer became its kind of big.
So basically, Prusa took over all the development of Slick 3R. And it still says, Prusa basically reworked it from the inside out. But it still follows that Prusa Slicer it gives credit back to Slick 3R.
Yep.
And then Super Slicer's forked from Prusa Slicer, and Bamboo Slicer's forked from Prusa Slicer. And both of those other ones give credit back to Prusa Slicer and Slick 3R.
Oh, I'm glad Bamboo is actually giving credit. That's good.
Yeah, that's a big problem in the community these days. Is people use something else and forget where they came from, kind of a thing.
Yeah, not only are they giving credit, but the work they're putting into it is actively pushing Prusa Slicer development forward.
That's cool.
Yes. Thus, sticking with that whole open source community growing and kind of maturing together.
Yep. And that's how we grow without gatekeeping, is how we get, to that point. So
yeah,
and that's for sure.
I was just saying that's the big thing in the community is when people like to jump on board that whole bandwagon of, well, they had it first. And it's like, yes, they did, but they left it open source for other people to adapt and use in their, in their problems and their whatever. And too many people are too quick to jump on board the, well, they had it first, they did it, da 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 da. And it's, yeah, but they released it open source for a reason. They want communities to adapt these things and bring these things in. So
Right.
when you get hooked on basically being a brand whore and saying that, only this person can do this, even though they
Right.
release it for everyone else to use, it's like, don't be that closed-minded person who sees open source as this person created it, so it has to be theirs. I mean, let them give credit and move forward with it. So,
speaking of stealing ideas, I was looking on Amazon to find information, and somebody already made the leveling LED circuit board that Chuck Hellebeck made.
Yeah.
With the CR32 with like a LED and a button, and it's supposed to help you like adjust your nozzle. Well, anyway, GE Tech basically has an exact knockoff of his original circuit board idea. So it's like, it's just a matter of time. Depends on what you do and if it's a good idea. So see, my thing is, I would hope that some Chinese company would steal it, because then it gets produced.
Right.
It's not even getting the royalties back from it. It's getting like notoriety of like, hey, I came up with that idea first. But it doesn't really, I mean, even at that point, like everybody knows that you were the original person, but that gets really obscured later.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of like that. Like you thought Super Slicer was first, and not all the contributions that the original Slick 3R people made, or that Prusa made. And I don't know. Does it really matter at a point? Like, I'm not the first person to do a backpack printer, and I probably won't be the last. So,
Well, you already have your second backpack printer in the works. So,
it's
because
thanks to Zach, it is. But but I tried to find the original guy who did the Voron backpack. I think his name is Miguel something. 3D printing professor or 3D printing 3D printing doctor had it on TikTok, had like a view, or Instagram had a quick interview with the guy who made the Voron backpack at that Orange County Maker Fair or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. There's some meetup, and looking at him, it's basically an Alice frame, and he made like 4 brackets that held it to the Alice frame, that held it to the rails of the V0, and then it's like a laptop bag with all the batteries in it, I guess, but it wasn't even printing. And then but it had a spool holder clamped to the frame of it. So, and I originally looked at the Alice frame, but the Alice frame is it's curved, and it's like a curved steel tubing, and so it's kind of hard to mount things to it. And so most people with the Ghostbusters frames, they actually water jet or laser cut an aluminum plate to put their Ghostbusters back proto packs on. So I mean, that's essentially what I ended up doing, was just taking the original straps and then making a steel frame that's flat, and then adding padding to it with the existing frame. So I just don't like the idea of the tubing.
So Mitch, are you a Ghostbuster? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Yeah. I should get the hose. That's just I don't know.
So Mitchell, I sent you a picture of the Galaxy Black print sitting next to a plain Coex Black.
Oh yeah, the Galaxy is so much cooler.
Oh yeah, it looks good.
I like that. Plus, it's gonna match that gray kind of that metallic gray.
The sparkle. The thing I like about the sparkle is the same thing I like about the carbon fiber filaments. Is it really, really hides the layer lines? It breaks it up like camo.
Yeah, and same with I have this matte Polar 3D matte filament. It's like it's like it's just a matte PLA, but like and it feels like it would ruin any hot end with whatever they use for the matte coating, but like it printing with that makes stuff look so much better. Anything that reduces the glossiness, that reduces the layer lines, is really good.
Yeah, that's the key to matte material, is its ability to not shine that light and show those layers.
But I like the idea of the what's that stuff that's IPA dissolvable, the poly light or whatever it's poly.
Yeah, the poly smooth. Yeah.
Polysmooth, which is not made by Polymaker, or
Yeah, it's Polymaker Polysmooth.
Polymaker makes this Polysmooth. Yeah, that's a
they're
cool
the ones-
concept. I like it.
Yeah, you
Especially
can put
because
it
we
in
do
a
molding.
yeah, you can 3D print your part and then stick it in like an atomizer or whatever, and let it just kind of throw a little bit of IPA into the air around the print, and it just basically smooths.
That's as fun as having atomized resin.
Oh yeah,
yeah, atomized. So this is actually this blob here is what came off of the extruder last night. So the extruder got really, really hot, which makes me think that it dumped a bunch of current into the stepper motor.
Yeah.
And it caused it to basically just jam, because I think the Bowden tube still has some restriction, and I think there's a little bit of heat creep on that hot end, and I think it's causing a jam, and then the extruder just like coiled PLA up into the spur gear. So I still have some issues with it, but it did a quarter of a benchy. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of little tweaking, but I at least got it to move in the move and extrude. So
yeah,
that's
I was going to say one of the big things I noticed was running with standard current volts on my motor on the Bear. I was like, holy hell, these motors are getting hot. And then I went to LDO and I looked, and the current, the actual current that those motors run at is like 0.23 to 0.5. And I had originally had them all set to 0.8. And I was like, no wonder my motors were hot. So I started bumping it down until I got to a point where I could touch those motors and put my hand on there, and it would be like, it would be warm to, it wasn't uncomfortably warm for my hands, but again, playing around 3D printing for a while, I've kind of,
to me, like 50C is about uncomfortable, is starting to get uncomfortable. It's about 50C.
Yeah, like I can touch a 60C bed and put my hand on it and hold my hand there for a good amount of time before I'm like, yeah, this is not good anymore, and I'll take my hand off, you know?
Do any of us have feeling in our fingers anymore?
Yeah. But that was the point. Like I got them. I started dumping the motor currents down, and again, this is why I love Clipper versus Marlin when it comes to that kind of stuff. Was all I have to do is go in, change the value, save and restart, start the next print, let it run for a little bit, put my fingers on the motors and touch them and say, yeah, they're warm to the point where I can hold my hands here for an amount of time that I consider to be good. And I just started dumping down the current over and over and over again until I found that sweet spot for me where I wasn't hearing any skipping of the steps. There was no issues, and the prints I've been getting have been coming off great. So I'm like, there you go. And I think with the LDO motors on the Bear kit, I was down to 0.4 or 0.45.
That's crazy, because I'm so used to my CNC machine. It's like 4 amps. 3 to 4 amps continuous at 48 volts. So stepper motors definitely have a variety. There's a corgi sighting.
Yeah, there's the new.
Oh my god, he's so cute.
Are you gonna name all your dogs Ein?
No.
Like you should.
This one is named Sparks after the dragonfly from Spyro the Dragon.
Oh yeah.
I like that, yeah.
Oh, look at his
My
eyes.
one is named Yoshi.
Hi, puppy.
Yoshi's a good name. Oh.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
They're like pocket-sized puppies.
How old is it?
He is like 4 months.
Oh my gosh.
4 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say at some point I will have a corgi in my life. Just something about those dogs, I gravitate towards
This
them.
thing is crazy smart. He's 4 months old. He's 3.5, really. Hold on.
We had a corgi Sheltie mix. It was like a Sheltie, but she had a corgi body and the short legs, and she would literally jump up on the counter, in the kitchen. I'm like, how did you even get up there? You're not even springy enough, but she would just jump up there. She was so smart. Oh my god.
I didn't know that, old curmudgeon. I didn't know you could put heat sinks on puppies.
I was just thinking the same thing too. I'm like, oh no. I guess that solves the problem.
Yeah.
On your corgi.
But yeah, no, At some point in my life, I'll have a corgi. It's just right now with the large amount of felines in my home and the one blue heeler who is very protective of his herd. We're just not going to have one of those right now.
Yeah. Well,
Probably
they're both herding dogs, right?
Yeah.
That thing is ridiculously intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
3.5 weeks, housebroken, knows how to sit, learned his name in like 2 days.
Yep. I will add one to the. I'll add one to the family at some point, just not right now. Mitch, I love on your keyboard that you have a little fidget spinner there on your whatever that is. Is it your shift key?
This is actually my function key.
Your function key?
You can't even see it. It comes off usually. Yeah, so it's a mass drop, or now it's called drop.com. It's actually like a 1 millimeter like ball bearing or something. It's ridiculous. And it just snaps right onto a my function key. So because I have a 60%, like you don't have a function row. So if I press this and then I press these are my function keys. And then if I do WASD with the function key, that's my arrows. And then the rest of it, like print, home, and all that stuff, I don't even know. I programmed it a long time ago, and honestly, for most things, I use a 60%, just like a normal keyboard. But it's nice to have a function key. And then these are actually done on a PO Poly Moai that a friend makes these custom keycaps. The ones that like looks like a 64 with a N64 DD
Oh my gosh,
on the bottom of it.
Cool. That's rad.
Yeah, and then I have the two Mega Mans.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he does a really good job. His name's Mackie or Mackie Caps. I don't think he still sells them, but I think he does leatherworking now. But yeah, Super Nintendo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But this is an Infinity Mass Drop Infinity kit that I bought a long time ago and soldered it all on there. But nowadays you can take the whole switch out. They have socketed sockets now. You can like take the whole switch out of the board, and you can get all kinds of crazy layouts. You can make custom plates with like carbon fiber and brass, and I think this is a stainless steel, and then the case is a cast aluminum or cast steel base, so it's about like 5 or 6 pounds. But yeah, no, mechanical keyboards are dangerous, and nobody should build one because it's a rabbit hole. It's worse than 3D printing. Like 3D printing, but it doesn't do anything other than type, and you can 3D print keyboards as well. There's a million of them, like Zach Freeman's infinitely adjustable one. I forgot he just came out with like the third video after screwing up the first two. But like you can like put sliders on it, little display, like OLED displays. One of the guys I found on YouTube has it's the OLED displays are actually inside the keycap, and it's a design that I've had for a long time that this guy did way before I could actually do it. That's what I was talking about. Like, I'm okay with China stealing my stuff. Hey. Oh, you're on mute.
There you go. I was talking to the missus. She called while Mitch was explaining his fidget spinner keyboard. So yeah, Mitch says hi.
Hi. Somebody wanted to do my job today because, well, I'm sitting on the stairs avoiding doing anything.
Yeah, she's stuck at work from open to close today, so she's taking a little break at work. Yeah, she had to be there at 7:30 this morning, right? And you won't get out of there till like 8:30 tonight.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she also had the last like week off, so of course her first day back is open to close. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Good old service industry making you work.
Hey, I'm in charge right now too. And you know what I'm doing?
Nothing.
Collecting your money, honey. Collecting your money, honey.
Absolutely nothing. I'm sitting on the stairs, avoiding customers and vaping.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to mute myself and finish talking to the missus. I'll let you guys carry on. I apologize. Sure. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. No, that's totally cool, dude. Like, I love customizing stuff like that.
Oh yeah, keyboards are super customizable.
I haven't gone that route yet. I'm still stuck in my I've got my old school external Logitech keyboard. That's about as fancy as I've gotten with it.
Yeah, once you get to
things.
once you start with mechanicals, once you figure out the switches that you like,
Yeah.
and then a lot of boards, you can get cheap boards that are really good nowadays because they're all like generic like gamer keyboards, and those are generally okay. I like the idea of being able to build my own keyboard and then fix it and stuff. And I've had Cooler Master keyboards. I have 10 keyless. I have all kinds of different layouts, but the ones I like so far are the compact ones. I don't like the 40%, and I don't like ortholinear. Ortholinear is hard to do because all the keys are in parallel rows.
Right.
So touch typing is a little bit weird. I'm not really a good touch typer, so it's not like I actually use it as is.
No.
But
I learned how to type from AOL chat rooms. That's how I learned how to type.
Yeah, mine was AOL Instant Messenger and Yahoo Messenger. So this is actually the modern Selectric. So pimpmykeyboards.com, Signature Plastics, they actually make double shot ABS keycaps that are really premium. This is like an $85 set just for the keys.
Goodness.
Yeah, no, like keyboards are insane. I'm glad I got out of it because it just became too much. Like,
but like for that amount of time, it brought you joy, right?
Oh,
like,
this is like 6 years old. Like this is a 6-year-old keyboard. I've built this back in 2016, I think, or 2015. Like, I've been using it, and like obviously they all got glossed over because your finger oils will actually wear down ABS keys.
Yeah.
The legends aren't worn down because it's a double shot, so it's actually two colors of plastic double shot into it. Devin actually had a really cool printed keyboard keycaps. I think Devin that did all the props.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. So, the keyboard and 3D printing enthusiast thing is there's definitely an overlap in that
for sure, in the gaming community as well. Like,
for sure, I would love to do.
What?
So I'm actually, one of my streams I want to do is I have a Ultra HDMI, which is a native upscaler for the N64 that solders directly onto the picture processing unit of the N64. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I've waited 2 years for this thing because the chip shortage, and on top of that, it's like one guy who makes them, and he's been like doing refinements for it for a long time. Oh wow, that's cool. Is that Picatinny
cool.
for?
Mm-hmm.
It's not Picatinny. It's something I designed to be simple and easy to print without supports.
Oh, those for Quest controllers, aren't they?
This is for OG Rift.
Oh, Rift controllers, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you play Pavlov and all that?
Oh yeah, I don't anymore. I haven't in a while. I need to set everything back up and play some more. But yeah, dude, Pavlov, sniping and Pavlov with that thing, I made so many people mad. Sniping Pavlov is just a nightmare.
Yeah,
it's so difficult. And using that, it's nothing.
Pavlov is really tough. I've seen it. It's like a hardcore shooter for VR. I'm not a big fan of like shooters in VR. I did like playing like Rec Room. They had like laser tag, but it's just a bunch of kids that just gang up on you.
Having that, playing shooters in VR, is so much.
Oh,
fun.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure.
Like even like playing on maps where you can stand way up on top of something, and usually trying to aim down at the ground is very difficult to get the alignment right. But with this thing, you can stand on the edge, and then you can just literally, as long as your controllers are locked in, you're going to be lined up. You can just sit there and shoot between your feet and just make people mad all day. Hold on. Lacey's gone.
Okay.
VR. So VR accessories. I want to shout out my friend Peter that I drove with. I don't know if you got to see it. Dan wasn't there, but Zach might have seen it. But anyway, it's called the Celia, and it basically is a device that sits on your desk, and they also have one that sits on your chest, and it has little scent bottles, and you assign these scent. You kind of rearrange the scents.
I
Yeah,
remember
and-
seeing that at Murph. I think he was showing it off
Yeah,
at Murph.
he was
a
at
little-
Murph. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, he was also featured in Linus Tech Tips. They did the Adventure Climb VR, and he sent one of the units to Linus Tech Tips. That was probably about a year ago.
Okay.
And he's been selling those for a long time. And so I've kind of been working with him on trying to like streamline manufacturing so that he can actually like focus on other things. And so we got the Cobra Max. I need to set that up, and it's in the basement. But we got a micro Swiss nozzle so that we could print like 0.6, so we could print those faster. But they're all printed in one unit, so they're about 300 millimeters long. And so we can on the CR10s that he has, he can print one, but he can print it diagonally, one at a time. So on the Cobra Max, it's so big that we could probably do two at a time for these big units. And we print them in one piece, and we've talked about like breaking them up so that we could use 3D gloop and put them together without a seam line, or try to print them in parts or laser cut part of them. But basically, they're big enough that they can have a 40 millimeter radial fan, and then scent pods that he makes. He makes his own custom scent pods. So they're like glass jars that have a custom cap on them, and he puts a diffuser material in a screw-on nut. And so he actually had to make a mold and cast out of not urethane but ester resin, that because the oil actually will dissolve, will actually degrade plastics.
Right.
So we have to use certain plastics, or else the oil will leak and degrade certain plastics. So he's been doing a bunch of R&D for this for a long time. And then the micro ones are the ones that sit on your chest, and then they have a cartridge that magnetically comes out, and you put another one on, and it has a bunch of little 20 millimeter fans that blow air up through like a venturi up into your nose. And so while you're playing, if you're in a different environment. So right now, Adventure Climb VR works. I think he's tried to work with other devices. Neos VR works because you can use WebSockets. Anything that can interact with WebSockets or Unity and Unreal Engine. So if we can get more developers on board in Unity and Unreal, especially private independent VR developers, we can actually start developing scents for those games and send them out to people. So the base unit's $250, I think, right now, and the desktop unit's $450. So it's kind of a high price, but it's like kind of meant to be like a developer kit until we can get it more consumer friendly. But I mean, he's been selling it a couple a month or so, like one or two a month. And so I'm trying to keep up with his demand. So we're trying to figure out how I can manufacture those for him. But it's a pretty cool unit. It's really niche. Like, it's definitely for the enthusiasts, VR enthusiasts. But it's kind of like that rail system. It's like VR enthusiasts will, pay a couple $100 for a very specific thing in the game that they play the most, And so the immersion stuff is really killer. Like, I do occasionally I'll be in VR chat, and actually most of the pandemic I was hanging out with friends in VR chat or Neos VR, and it's been like really cool. Like, it's just amazing.
We've been exploring a lot of that too in a couple of educator spaces as well. But we have I'm sure you're familiar. We have like the Unreal Engine community too. I took the Educator Accelerator last year, and I'm like cool. Mind blown. Like, I'm helping.
You can drag and drop a lot of the stuff you can do
stuff.
in Unity.
Yeah. It's definitely like for creators everywhere. Like, I'm seeing a lot of different things from Unreal and from the community that we're building out. But it's like bringing that awareness and that light into educator spaces so that people that don't understand that world can understand that world until it becomes like 25 years from now when they go, oh crap, we should have been doing X, right? Mm-hmm. Bringing it to that light now. And then they're like, no, we're not doing X because we don't understand how that connects to education. So that's like my role right now.
I was 3D printing for the longest time, is trying to get like how this 3D printing.
Same thing. Yeah, for sure. 3D
printing,
all of that
stuff
company that connects to Steam, like the whole Steam like world, right?
Yeah. And Steam wasn't really a big push until like after I graduated. So it's like years after I graduated, I was like, wow, if only I had these engineering classes in school, I would have gone a whole nother direction.
Well, like honestly, I appreciate that you acknowledge that too, because myself, I found myself in like higher level mathematics classes, like being so bored because I already knew it. Like, not to sound elitist, I know that sounds that way, but I was so bored and disconnected from the content that I was like, okay, here's the assignment. Now I'm gonna go in the back of the room, sit with my TI-81 calculator and code it to play Tetris. Like, I'm bored. Like, you know, so I learned it because I was bored at school, and that's terrible to say, right?
I wonder how many people learn BASIC from their TI-83s.
Oh my God. Like, we learned how to do all of that, right? And then we learned how to, like, you know, hack the system is what I call it. Like, we hacked the system to fit what we needed it to fit, you know? So I'm thankful for that, but I'm also like, I don't want kids to have to do that. I want them to have that authentic experience that we didn't get to have, you know?
And that's the difference between like going to college. It's like even the basics are just extended high school. And if I wasn't a good student, so I couldn't do AP classes. Like I tried physics AP and then like I had no clue any of the calculus stuff. So like I wish I would have been able to do that stuff, but like they don't schedule you enough time to be able to do the stuff that you want to do in high school, unless you go to some like Montessori or some trade school or something.
Yeah, or private school for sure.
Ooh, what's that?
So it's a box of screws my son is bringing me. They were in the house, and my daughter
is he trying to tell you that you're screwed?
Yeah, pretty much. But
it'd be worse if it was like a mix of like imperial and metric, and you had to figure out which one's which.
No. But guys, I hate to do it. I did mention I'm going to wrap this bad boy up because it's now 4 p.m. my time, and I have to go visit my wife at work. She called me and let me know that she needs a few things, so I'm going to wrap this bad boy up.
I think Jerry has a stream running.
Who does?
Jerry.
Oh, Jerry has his stream going. Yeah. So if you guys want to transition over to Jerry, he's going to be on Twitch, though, I'm sure. So
Barnacle.
You guys want to? Huh?
Is it Barnacles or another Jerry?
Jerry, 3D HP.
Jerry. 3D HP.
Okay.
3D HP.
Yeah, 3D HP.
He's got a hangout. He usually has hangout streams. I don't know if he's still going, but he normally runs.
He is.
Okay. I'm learning a whole new community of people.
Oh yeah.
So
don't feel bad. I don't know half y'all, but nice to meet you, Mitch. I've never met you before.
Yeah,
I'm
nice
Amanda,
to meet you.
by the way. I'm the wild woman. No, I'm Amanda.
Yeah, wild. I like your Furbies and stuff in the background, whatever those are.
Oh, that one is from Disneyland, and then that's like a scary unicorn, so it's back there.
Oh,
there's some Fraggle Rock back there.
I noticed the unicorn stuff in the stuff. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Currently, Jerry, just so you guys know, he has it's Jerry, it's Liam, aka Astro Printer. He's got TikTok in the garage.
Oh, I gotta go give Liam some crap.
And then DeWitt's on there, and he's also got Rob Mink on there. Rob is the
Rob Mink.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with him.
Cool.
We'll go crash the stream. Are they on Twitch? Yeah, they're on Twitch, huh?
They're on Twitch right now. I dropped the link in chat, so if everybody can jump over there and just tell them all that this is a YouTube to Twitch raid. Since we can't raid, we can't raid over. You can just all jump over there and tell them, hey. Cool part is, just so you guys know, Rob is currently in the process of getting my kit together for my baby belt. So at some point here soon, I'll have a baby belt. And I also talked to Rob about the possibility, since I've become the dollar store clipper guy, about clipperizing it. So I'm going to get it up and functioning first and make sure that I have it right and that it works. And then we're going to clipper it. So
yeah, isn't Clipper already the dollar store duet? I mean,
no, Clipper does so much better than Duet.
Yeah, the RepRap firmware is RepRap versus Clipper. It's Clipper's.
Is that a debate?
That's a debate for another stream. Yeah,
okay.
If we go down,
I use both, so I'm agnostic in this one. I don't really care as long as it works. I also kind of feel bad for Scott because I know he didn't get as much attention with Marlon as he deserves.
True.
Yeah. I think Marlon's still really relevant in the world.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying Marlon is dead, and he was. My understanding was after Earth, he was coding in the airport, still working on Marlon coding while he was sitting at the airport after Earth home.
Yeah, and he's
So-
all living off of donations, so like he's
Oh,
he's a saint for sure.
Oh yeah. As I said, I won't dog Marlin because Marlin is still a large force to be reckoned with in 3D
Oh, yeah.
printing. It's still so many printers. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, guys, thanks for coming and hanging out. It was fun to do this. I'll have to do this again sometime, and maybe we'll make it a little more regular thing where everybody kind of come and hang out again over here. So,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
but
Thanks,
yeah,
Dan.
so.
Thanks for having
thank you.
the space.
Yeah. So if anybody would like to, before we go, if anybody would like to say where they can be found elsewhere, because Mitch, I know you're getting into the Twitch. You got
Yeah.
Mitch on Twitch. I really think
It's
you need
actually under the Mitch 22, which is my handle for everything. The Mitch 22, and I actually looked it up last night. Mitch 3D is already a Twitch username. That's not mine. So I
Nice.
can't register
Yeah,
that. So the Mitch 22 is going to be my handle for everything. I do plan on doing more with the little Eris and the Voron V0 as soon as Zach is done, and then I think after that, like I'll do N64 game modding, N64 stuff. I also have a giant CNC machine in my basement, so if we can work on my CNC machine, I would appreciate that because it's been a big thousands of dollars sitting there collecting dust. So. It's a big project.
Very cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, Zach, you want to say anything? Anything you want to share? No.
He's like, no.
He's just Zach. He's around. He's a part of the community. You'll find him everywhere. Same thing with her. She's in and out of the community.
I just
doing
followed you. I just followed you on Twitter, Mitch. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah, I'm at it's Amanda Macias. So it's
I'm
fine.
also pushing Maker Deck too. I'm a part of Maker Deck, so I think that's also another one of those streams. Cool.
So
I'll follow back.
let's get more people on Mitch's channel. Let's get Mitch more into the streaming thing because he does a lot of awesome stuff, and I think that the more people who go and support, more motivation he'll have to get projects done.
I just have to sneak away into my basement more, and you know,
That's the hard part.
leave work before 6, and I think I'll be good. So
There you go.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, to everybody who was hanging out in chat, thank you for coming and hanging out. For those of you who joined me on screen today, thank you for coming and hanging out. And I'm going to go visit my wife at work. So, bye, Internet.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.